to 68. After dark. At the Final Four, a 5-month season is going to come to conclusion this weekend here in Indianapolis. We got 4 teams left. We got 5 people on the panel. Mike LaTulip, Jeff Goodman, Norm Roberts, Randolph Childress. My name is Rob Dauster, and we're here, guys. We made it. We survived a long season, RC. You put up with us. You put up with all of us. You put up with Goodman.
Yeah.
For long enough, and we made it here.
The countdown's on. It's official now.
Well, I've enjoyed it. Goodman's been very good to me, and you have too.
There you go. There you go. See, somebody likes me. Finally, we found somebody who likes me.
We found the one.
The Tulip likes me too. But no, this is great. Listen, we're here, and we have 4 big-time teams here, which is what everybody wanted, right? Everybody wants. We didn't really get the Cinderellas other than High Point, and they're not your typical Cinderella because they've got $3 million in NIL. But now we have the big boys. We have 2 great matchups. No, we don't have Michigan and Arizona on the opposite sides of each other, but we've got 2 national semifinal games that are evenly matched, that could go either way, that are going to be awesome.
In the basketball hub of America, and I'll stand on that. I only see RC in Indy. I've seen RC in person twice in my life. And it was within, 3 weeks?
3 weeks. Yeah.
2 times in Indy. So
well, that's the only reason he actually showed up to the Final Four this year.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, he was like, the Tulip's going to be there? Yeah. All right, I'm in.
It's the only reason I'm here.
I'm in. No, look, I said this on the show this week, that if I could have picked a Final Four when the bracket was released to make the ideal setting when you get to Indianapolis, the ideal vibe, the best kind of environment, the best atmosphere, it would have been Arizona out of the West. It would have been Michigan out of the Midwest. It would have been Illinois out of the South. And it would have been one of Duke or Yukon coming out of the East. Obviously, I prefer the way that it's kind of played out
I'm sure.
But either way.
I like the way you set that up.
Either way, we have it's going to be very orange here this weekend, I think.
Very, very. Not only is it drivable from Champaign, the biggest alumni hub's in Chicago, which is also under 3 hours, but there's plenty of Illini here in Indy as well. So just really all around the Midwest. Michigan, also drivable. Chicago, also a big alumni spot for Michigan Wolverines. And then Yukon. We'll see with Arizona.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a big Arizona. It's the first time in 25 years.
I was going to say, that's what I'm saying.
They're crazy out there.
I mean, last time I was here, when Arizona was here, got in my car with my now wife. We're actually, I think, broken up at the time. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that or not.
Jeez,
she's broken up with you a million times. Don't worry.
We drove all the way here. We drove all the way here, picked up a buddy of mine in New Jersey, and watched Arizona win the whole thing. That was like the last time I could cheer, that I felt like I could really cheer for Arizona. But it's back. It's back. And got a little, here we go.
Okay.
Shirt, gonna rep.
Make it official.
Gonna rep. Yeah.
Make it official.
Gotta, paid a lot of money.
Rob has Yukon underwear on, so it's all fine.
No question. Yukon underwear, pom-poms, you name it, Rob's got it.
I actually didn't bring my Kemba Walker jersey this year.
Oh.
That's just because I tried it on and it was a little too snug.
You had to give it back.
I did. I couldn't wear that one today.
There will be a lot of Illinois fans here. They love it
yes.
down here. And I think it's time that we really start talking about Illinois having a chance to win it all, because I'm
Relax.
telling you,
Go on, Norm.
Relax.
Go on.
They got guys that can shoot the ball. They've got great size. They got rim protection. They got guys that can take it to the hole and score, and Stojakovic. But they surprised a lot of people. I think a lot of people thought they couldn't beat Houston, especially in Houston, and they were able to do it. I think they're going to be a tough out. It won't be easy for UConn. UConn knows that, even though UConn beat them the first.
All right, so Mike, I'm going to go down here first before we end up talking way too long about this matchup. But let's start with that.
First of all, do I need to separate you two?
No, we're good.
Cordial for now.
Professional enough now so we get close to the game?
But there is, just so you know, we did speak with the management here at Tom's. No orange shirts are allowed in the building here. It clashes with
a rule I'm certain will be broken.
No orange shirts are allowed in the building.
I'm actually told I look good in orange, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
You may have to rock it.
Yeah, there you go. Let's start with the Illinois UConn matchup here. Right. The first one of the day on Saturday, 6:09 tip-in. That's ET, Eastern Time Zone, the only legitimate time zone, RC. What is the key to this matchup for you?
Wow. I think how Caravan plays, I think that's the matchup, that his ability to stretch and the movement he does. Like, who's going to defend him? Who's going to chase him around? Will that be Mirkovich? Will he step up and guard him? Like, I think it's that's the matchup that concerns me. I think they got enough length and enough bodies to throw at Reed. Taj Reed, I think, as great as he's been playing, and I thought his performance, Noam, was as good as I've seen in the moment. I thought it was incredible to put them in the Final Four. But I think Caravan is he had it when it mattered most. Struggled mightily against a team that had a lot of length on the perimeter. I think we talk as much as we talk about Duke and their ability to defend. Their wing perimeter defense is elite, and then that's the strength of that team. And he struggled, as they all did, but they all stepped up when it mattered. I think how they defend him with all the actions and the movements, it'll be a key to this game.
I like the biggest keys. Both teams are deep. They got defense. They can play up to 9 guys, and I think the key to the game is going to be the backboard, because Illinois is an elite offensive rebounding team. They attack that glass. They really don't have a low post guy to go score, but I do think they've got some guys that can make some big shots for them. Davis comes in and he makes some big shots. Boswell's strong, so he's going to be able to guard Demery, stay in front of him, and those type things. And then, obviously the kid Keaton Wadler's been fantastic. I guess you could say he's older now, because last time they played was in November, and that's a long
He played
time
14 minutes the first game, Norm. Mm-hmm. I went back and I watched it, and it was basically a complete waste of time. Because Mihajlo Petrovic played 18 minutes. He's gone. Illinois has a dude number 1 on the team, but what was his name, Mike?
It's Brandon Lee.
I sent Mike a picture. I watched the game. I sent Mike a picture. I said, who the hell is this?
You didn't say hell.
Yeah, I didn't say hell. But then for UConn, Jalen Stewart started. Braylon Mullins played 10 minutes. It was his first game back from an ankle injury. And Terrace Reed played 15 minutes. It was his first game back from an ankle injury. So it's almost like, and at that point still, UConn was a team that was trying to run the ball around the perimeter and try to set up their shooters and play through solo ball and Braylon Mullins and Caravan. That's not what they are now. Now they're pounded inside and let the big fella eat.
It's not what they are, but they need to make shots from the perimeter. Like, to me, Terrace Reed was special. And again, I think they'll obviously play inside out. They'll play through him. But, solo ball, make shots. And Braylon Mullins gets some confidence from that shot. I mean, he's coming back home. How do you react as a freshman? You haven't made a ton of shots this year. You're playing in front of friends and family, but you just hit one of the biggest shots in NCAA tournament history. How do you kind of follow up on that? And again, solo ball. Those are the keys for me for UConn. Terrace is going to do his thing. We know that. We don't know if those guys are going to make the wings are going to make shots.
I think all those are major keys to this game, and I think looking back at that first matchup, I can't remember more of a throwaway first matchup. Truly,
I think it's totally irrelevant. I agree with you. I think it has no bearing on this game.
Include this guy was out for injuries. Most of the guys played. I mean, all those guys played. It's just the pecking orders changed offensively for Illinois. The way they get into their offense, with UConn kind of using Reed as that point of gravity, and then it's like Reed benefits off all the movement that's going on in the perimeter, and all the guys in the perimeter benefit from the gravity of him down low. So as much as I love Illinois' interior defense. I mean, they have Zavonimir as a shot blocker, but they're so gapped up. Their paint defense is great. I mean, Iowa's Iowa, but they were 0 for 4 at the rim in the second half, and they were 1 for 8 from 2 in that second half against. So winning grimy was the question, I think, after that UConn game, whether or not Illinois could do that. Can this Illinois team win grimy? And I think they proved that. They specifically proved that in that regional, in the South region, to beat Houston, to beat Iowa. But like what you're saying, Jeff, I think if they make shots, if UConn makes shots, because you're always terrified of, is this like a springboard moment for Braylon Mullins? You're still paranoid all the same with solo ball. I throw out the percentages with solo ball. You're still worried about a 4 or 5.
Norm said it. What are their percentages this year?
Not very good. Solo ball is 29%. Yeah. He's 29%. Braylon Mullins is only 32%. But they make big shots.
You still feel like you got to close out short. Yeah. You got to do all that stuff that only helps Terrace Reed. And to RC's point, Mirkovich had that assignment on Caravan. And Mirkovich was younger, still young, but 2 weeks later, that Nebraska game at home, that off-ball movement just worked. And then that's what kind of changed their season. The Yukon game and that Nebraska game changed things, and now they're winning games grimy, and they're able to.
They're not soft.
So when you
no, they're not.
Right.
when you say young, when you say young with Merkovich, you mean like 26?
He's not 26. He turned 20 this season.
Have we seen his birth
was
certificate?
19.
Have you seen his birth
Okay.
certificate?
I haven't.
Okay.
I
All
am
right.
12.
Then-
Was that Benchwarmers, the movie where he had like
This is like the Dominican shortstops.
no, he
Every time we check
was
every
19 during the
Nigerian
Yukon
transcript,
game.
you got birth certificate, got to check those birth certificates too.
All right, Norm, is that a roster that you
Oh
have
my
in front of you
God,
right
I
now?
just bottle empty already.
You have a box score?
No, not a
stats.
box.
He's
Just,
You got stats in front of you? All right, we're gonna play. Do you have the numbers on there?
yeah.
I want you to pull up the Kansas or the Illinois one.
This
real
isn't
quick.
playing.
Okay,
We're gonna play a little game. All right, I'm gonna give you a number and you tell me what that person's name is. All right,
Okay.
number 44 on Illinois.
What was that? That's Big Z.
There you go.
There you
There you
go.
go.
Big Z.
All right, number.
What's
number
his full name?
77.
What's his full name? No, I want to hear him try to pronounce his full name.
First name Big.
Come on. Come on, try it. Come on.
Zanimir Izavesvika.
It's honestly,
I
not bad.
did not want to kill it.
Yeah, it could
I'd
be
call him
worse.
Big Z.
It could be worse.
They all have nicknames. It's
just-
Big Z, it's Merk, it's Dre for Andre Stojakovic. Like each
Exactly.
one of those
Oh, yeah.
guys.
It's
Petro for
Brad doesn't
Petrovic,
want to
like,
screw
nah,
this
it's
up.
just- yeah,
Right.
get the quick ones.
Make it easy.
Hey, when we had Spee, that's how I called him Spee. That's what we called him then.
You couldn't even. Could you pronounce his real name now?
No
way.
At times
No
I
way.
could. Yeah, at times I could. Well, everybody gets a nickname. Those guys would
Shorten
all
those
definitely
things
have
up.
nicknames.
You got to give them one, right?
No,
You got to.
I know where you're gonna go. Don't go to Arizona because you know.
Well,
We'll get
going
to that
there.
later.
We're going there in a little bit. Now, Mike, to me, I think you mentioned Caravan, you mentioned the UConn 3-point shooting. I still think the key is going to end up being the way that Silas Demery can guard Keaton Wagner because of how important Wagner is to what Illinois does offensively and how good Demery has been in moments this year on the defensive end of the floor.
Yeah, now how rare is it that you had Kylan Boswell go off for 25 in the first game, you had Keaton Waller go off for 3 points, and now in the rematch, Silas Demery won't be guarding the 25-point game guy. He's guarding the 3-point guy. So it's that game is really what changed for Illinois' offense, just giving Keaton Waller the keys after that game. So he's dealt, it's weird. The guy who's done the best job, we talked about this the other day, the guy who's done the best job this year on Keaton Waller was Jordan Scott at Michigan State. Like, he just had that great combo of size and kind of wiry strength and length. It's interesting with the physicality of Demery. Like, he's kind of a bull. And for whatever reason, Wagler just has a way of using that against you. Like, you want to, just by his frame, you want to crawl up into him. And that's when he kind of deploys the spin moves and kind of like leverages the physicality against you. So that's going to be fascinating because Demery the foul trouble for Demery in that first game, he wasn't much of a factor.
And is he healthy now? That's the other part. Right. So
No, he's not.
So that's a difficult part. If you're going to put him on Wagler, how difficult is it going to be for him?
I think it'll be easier. Like he had a bad ankle and he's sitting in front of Donovan Dent and Jeremy Fears, who are significantly quicker than Wagner. And I feel like when you have an ankle, it's the quickness part of it that you kind of lose a little bit.
Yeah, because you got to push off and those things. But Keaton Wagler, the thing about him is he does such a good job of playing at different speeds. He slows down. He gets you to kind of foul him. Then all he got to do is get a step because he's got great length, so he can get the shot off. And he plays off other guys to get shots too.
He uses his length. He uses his length well, creates angles, like you said. You get into his body, he just spins off you, and then he's at the rim. One dribble, he's already at the rim. He can get his shot off. He's a lot shiftier than I thought he was. And seeing him, thing I'm curious to see with those guards is chasing Yukon guards around as much as they'll have to do. How much will they have on the offensive end?
Well, they take you out. That's what the Yukon offense does. It's like you spend so much time chasing.
Yes.
You spend so much time trying to make sure there aren't slips to the basket, cuts to the basket, that all the while, when the ball does get thrown into Terrace Reed, you're not in position to dig, to stunt, to help, to trap if you want to do that. So that's what's beautiful about that offense. Is just every single part is crucial to making that thing go.
Danny does a great job of isolating Reed in the post. And they do it by using their shooters coming off pin downs, coming out to wing where you have to get out there fast, which now opens up the backside for Reed. So he's always been really good at that.
I won't start. I got to save my opinion yet. I don't know.
All right, we'll see.
We'll see. If Latulip's going to like my answer, so I got to. Let's
go,
I'm just getting a chance.
Come on.
I'm just getting to Indianapolis, man. I'm trying to stay in good grace until I find my Michigan shirt, because you guys are represented everywhere else. So I got to show Michigan some love. So I'm finding me a Michigan shirt. I don't care who shows up and show out. We got enough Arizona. We got Yukon. We got Illinois on the staff. Michigan got to get some love. So I got to wear me a Michigan shirt.
You know what the Michigan love just earns you?
A drink. Look like I'm about to get a drink here.
Jeez.
There we go. What we got there?
No.
Oh, God, no.
Yes.
I'm passing during the show.
Yes.
All right, during the show's fine. During the show, we'll hold the other two.
Oh,
Thank you.
you could have held 3 on that.
Cheers.
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 Yeah, take
RC,
mine back.
Cheers.
Happy birthday.
Cheers. RC. Cheers. You don't have to
Cheers.
drink the whole thing at once.
Yeah, I ain't drink. I'm a sip just because it's.
On the table.
Yep.
No way.
Jim Beam. Thank you to Jim Beam.
I ain't had a
Man,
shot in
that's
20
good.
years.
Yeah, sponsor
Man,
the show.
that's good.
Yes.
I just give me some Coke or something with it or something. Like shots. I ain't had a shot in 30 years, man. What we doing?
All right, let's.
Make sure you come down, by the way, Tom's Watch Bar. We're doing shows here pretty much all week. We're here tonight, 4 to 7 for the show. And then after, we're doing a little happy hour, 8 to 10. You want to come down, you can sing Rob happy birthday.
Oh,
You
yeah.
get to meet Brian Snow.
You can meet Brian Snow. We'll have apps here. We'll have some drinks for certain people.
Cool.
Depends who you are.
Warm vodka shots is what I
Depends who
heard
you
the
are.
theme was. I heard it was warm vodka shots for Rob.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I mean,
That's what I heard. That's
you
what
guys
the rumor
want-
was. My guy T.O. told me it's warm vodka shots.
No, well, the thing is, Rob can. I mean, he can hold his alcohol. We've all seen this,
seen
right?
that.
Let's see how he can do tonight if everybody comes in and gets him a free shot. So let's see how long
let's not
Rob
do that.
Dauster can stand for tonight.
Let's not do that. That sounds like a really bad idea. T.O. has officially been kicked out of the field of 68, by the way, just for the record, for too many of these.
Oh, wow. All right, let's get this back.
I just assume every time I get a shot put in front of me, it's T.O. causing trouble. Let's get to the next game.
No, I want to get predictions. I want to, before we get to the next one,
Already?
I want to find out. Yeah, I want to find out.
We got
Absolutely.
We got 8.5 more
We can
hours.
change it. I'm not saying you got to lock it in and you can't
Haven't even
change it.
stretched.
We got
But I'm
8.5
saying when we get.
We got 8.5 more hours of
Well, we know
content to
what
go
he-
through.
I get fired every 3 weeks
Well,
from
you
this
can.
job. How's
With more
that possible?
information, there might be an injury.
I didn't even pour
You
those
can't-
drinks.
Sure, you could change. Of course, you
whenever-
can change.
T.O. Whenever
I agree
there's
with Jeff. I'll
some
make a
kind of-
pick now if I can change it tomorrow.
whenever there's
But
some
if I
kind
can
of
do
bad
that, then
influence,
hell,
you know,
I
just
mean,
assume it's you.
I
we
mean, we
making
know,
a pick
we
now?
know, we know what these two
Oh,
idiots
yeah,
are
they're done.
picking,
Like,
so
it's
it doesn't
just-
even
it's just
matter. You
Norm
guys
and I,
don't even have
really.
to pick.
It's about
it's the three of us.
about the other game.
All right, so we'll start with RC. Who do you got?
I think Yukon gets it.
He hit you with
The old rope-a-dope.
He hit you with the poke. He hit you with a poke fake.
All right, we'll see if that changes.
Yeah, I'll say that. Chance. I'm going with Yukon.
RC, so the check hit the account then? Payment hit for that?
Actually, I like that from RC because I think when he said I would like it, I actually do like it because I don't want everyone picking Illinois. I think that's
No,
bad
because
juju.
let me be clear. I picked Illinois to go to the Final Four. I did. So you can't be mad at me if you're
I'm
an
not
Illini
mad
fan. I
at
picked
all.
you to the Final Four. I just don't like you in this matchup.
Norm?
That's all.
Fair.
Norm, who you like?
I'm gonna go Illinois. I think Illinois. I think playing in Indianapolis, that place is going to be juice. I think they're great on the glass.
They got 4 fans.
They got a lot more
No,
than
no.
4 fans. I guarantee you
I gotta
that,
give these guys
you know?
crap.
And obviously, I coach there too. So
You're biased too. Wait a minute. You were coaching here. He's biased. Take
got a
his mic
paycheck.
off.
How many years-
He's
how
biased.
many years
He's
did you get a
coached here.
paycheck from
Of course
Illinois?
he's going to say the
I actually was
Illini.
there for 3 years.
3 years. He made a lot of money from the
Yeah,
Illini.
So, but I would tell you, I think, and I would also say this, Underwood, don't get it twisted. I know they play fast and they score that. No, he's a grimy coach now. He's a grimy
Hey.
coach. He's a guy that can get down.
He's going to kick Jeff's ass. He's going to take him out. What did he say he's going to do? Take you out to the Pizza
Hut.
Pizza Hut.
Who?
Brad Underwood. We had him on. He says he's going to take you out to Pizza Hut when you question.
Pizza Hut parking lot.
Pizza Hut? Come on. I want some high-level pizza.
But I would tell. I think Illinois. I think Illinois could do it. I think UConn's very good. I think Big Z. I won't go saying his full name. I think it'll be a little bit tougher for Reed to score over top of.
Over Big Z.
I agree with that. I just think the guards are going to play better.
Snap Big Z in half.
Oh, stop.
He's going to drive him under the
I
basket.
think Big Z is going to get put through. He's not going to get pushed under the basket. He's going to get pushed through the basket stanchion
This is
into
what
the
I
first
think.
round.
This is
first
what I
round.
think they're going to do. Big Z is going to play dead behind him and say, no. You can post me up as deep as you want. I want you to shoot it over top of me. Because
footwork's
when
too good, I
when
think.
Reed does the best work, though, he seals you up the lane, throw it over the top, and he finishes. I'm just saying I think Big Z's going to stay down, and I think it's going to be a little tougher for him.
I think his footwork's exceptional. I think that's the most underrated thing. He's gotten so much better. Reed,
yes.
it's
I
just
do.
RC, he
taking
didn't-
you
he
right,
didn't have
going
that.
back left.
He didn't have
No,
that.
he didn't. That's what I'm saying. That's
didn't
why
have that in
he's
November.
been dominant this tournament. He's not just been good. He's been dominant.
He can pass, too.
Now the
Unbelievable pass.
Norm, that's exactly the processing now.
He can
Like
pass.
the skip pass he had on the baseline to Demery
ridiculous.
to make it 62-55 with his
I thought he
left
was
hand.
throwing it to me.
And then he had the turnaround and the drop off to solo ball. Like those are both those reads are not easy reads whatsoever. So that's what terrifies me as well. Like not only just his ability to score down there, now if he attracts attention, like he can really spray that thing out now.
He has been their best player. There's no doubt.
Mike, can I ask you this?
He's the most productive player in the tournament
I
so
think,
far.
I think you could make the argument
If Keaton struggles, where does the offense come from?
Stojakovic, Mirkovic,
Stojakovic is going to.
Tomislav. Like they got
They
so
got guys
many
that can
options.
score, but
Yeah.
if he struggles,
No,
where is it going to come from?
It's Stojakovic is the one that I'd be worried about because of his ability to get downhill and get to the rim. UConn doesn't really have a guy.
I don't think they got a guy to guard him.
Well, it's Jaden Ross.
Jaden
You don't.
Ross.
But when
Yeah.
Jaden Ross comes in, that means you got to have one as Solo or Braylon on the bench, which means you lose that ability to kind of. And then what will happen? And we've seen this at the Arizona did this. Duke did this a little bit.
Kinda
When
under.
Jaden Ross comes in, they'll put whoever's at the 4, whether it's Mirkovic or whoever, on Jaden Ross and have Stojakovic on Carabin. So when Ross is on the floor, you lose the advantage of being able to have Carabin chased around all those screens by a bigger and slower defender.
That's like what Duke did too. I didn't understand. In the first half, Duke had Boozer on Caravan, and then the second half they cross match, put him on Demery, and they put him on Smith. And I don't know.
They
I almost
did that
felt
a
like they
bunch.
got too cute,
a lot.
doing.
But you got to
some of that.
protect him because again, he's chasing so much. You're running your offense through him because they know when it matters, they're running their offense through him, and he's going to play 35, 38 minutes. You got to give him a break. So they felt like if he can guard the point guards and not do all the running and chasing around.
What UConn will do is if you have someone important guarding Caravan, they'll just use it as the decoy where you just sprint. And he'll just run around all the screens, and they have, I don't even know what you would call it, but there's ones where he runs in a circle twice and then finally comes off a screen.
Oh, yeah.
It's like they fake coming off a screen and then come off another screen. Like, it's the amount of movement there. Half of the value of it is just tiring you out defensively. It's a war of attrition.
I do think, we beat UConn at Kansas that one year when we had KJ Adams. And KJ Adams guarded Caravan. And KJ was so athletic and strong, and that's
Perfect guy.
It didn't mess up their team. Now, I think Danny and their teams learned from that and can do well. But Caravan is a big key. They want the ball in his hands. Even if he's not to shoot it, they want it in his hands so he can
He
make
makes
plays.
good decisions.
He does.
And it's not the issue is not necessarily coming off the screen and shooting. It's when he can get off that screen and he curls, and all of a sudden you got the big guy trailing him. When you have
no
when he's
backside
playing,
help.
when you're
Yeah.
playing 2-on-1 and you have Braylon Mullins and solo ball and some weak side action doing whatever, he's going to make the right decision every single time, and it's going to be that little pocket pass, and Terrace Reed is going to get it. That's what would scare me more than just him coming off and hitting 3.
You know what I wonder about from a matchup standpoint is Stojakovic was so good on Sturts in that second half against Iowa that you could put Stojakovic on Demery, and we saw with Cooper Flagg, we saw with Danny Wolf, they'll put Boswell on
Anybody.
JT Toppin.
Anybody.
They'll put Boswell on anybody. Probably except for Terrace Reed. Yeah, I would imagine. But Caravan, like, that's a guy with low center of gravity, strong, quick, can get through, can shortcut angles. Could be something that happens. I mean, like, at certain points in the game, I think Mirkovic might start on him, but Boswell might get a shot at some point.
I agree. He's your guy. I think it takes away from him offensively, like he's done the last few games. I don't think he's been as involved on the offensive end of the floor. But if he can be your stopper, then you don't need him to. But the other guys, I think Stojakovic will get. He attacks the rim so much. He's going to get to the free throw line. He's going to finish. That's his gift. Yeah. And his size, it makes it tough for him to score. I think he needs to play that way. I think the key is Keaton. He's gonna draw so much attention.
But
Mirkovic, I think the other guys are going to be critical. I think they have to score, and that's not always been the case. I think Mirkovic has been really good consistently rebounding the basketball. I think now scoring, he's going to have to score. He's going to need a double-double game, I think, if Illinois wants to win this game.
What do you think of that matchup with Wagler and Silas Demery?
The question that I have about it is I think Silas just needs to defend, right? Can I think that it matters. It's almost like what we're talking about with Boswell. Like if he can just eliminate or make a guy have a bad day, I think that's Demery's job. Yep. It's just to stay between him and the basket. He's great at using your body. You can't get physical with him. He spins. He creates angles. I think if you can keep him out of the paint, that's a bit for the way he's been playing, and you can force him to shoot a bad percentage. I think that's a hell of a win. Tilting for UConn. And I say that as a compliment to Keaton Wagler because I think he's that damn good.
Yep. Who has the advantage if it comes down to a final possession or two? Because I think it can. I think this. It's the type of game.
Who's the best closer in the game?
Yeah.
It's a damn good question.
Like, who do you trust more? And to me, again, UConn's been there, right? Caravan's been there. Hurley's been there. I go back and forth on this matchup. I really do.
To me, I think a lot of times when we think about late game, we think about like who's got the ball, who's scoring it, and a lot of times it's like, which team do you trust to secure the rebound? Which team do you trust to like get the stop? And like that, probably defensively you would lean UConn in that situation. But and even in this tournament, every Illinois win has been by double digits. So like they, the close games they've had this year, 4 of the last 5 losses have been in overtime. So you think like, can they get over the hump with some of the late game stuff? But like they've also had late game stuff where the late game hasn't mattered because in the last at Purdue, at Nebraska, last 2 to 3 minutes, they just shut the door. Mm-hmm. And so it ended up being a 7 or 8 point game, but you could still look at that as like late game. But final possession, I think there's more dudes on Illinois that can have the ball in their hands that could make something happen.
I just think it's hard to bet against like Caravan and Hurley at the end. Yeah. At the end of a game. That's the only thing that's
battle tested. Right. They're battle tested for sure.
Yeah. Look at Caravan. Missed every shot, it felt like, and hits the biggest one, and he wanted it. He wanted.
What's crazy about that is he missed like 4 big ones before that, where you're like he lets it go, and it's like, oh, if that goes in, that's a huge shot.
So did Mullins.
Yeah, he hit the pull up that he missed. I still can't believe that comeback played out the way that it did. That was ridiculous. I don't know. I told some other people this, but after the game, I don't even know if you saw this, Goodman. So the way that it was set up is that I was sitting next to Stanford Steve, and we were across from the Duke bench, and you were sitting next to RC across from the UConn bench, and we're both like in line with the baseline more or less. So after that shot goes in, everyone's celebrating. We have a chance to get on the court. They're doing the celebration. I just walk over and I see RC just kind of sitting there looking off like this. And I just walk up and I just stood next to him. I just got this huge smile on his face and just wait for him to turn around and look at me. And he looks and he goes, "Oh, come on, man."
What's your pick?
Boy, again, like I said, I go back and forth on this one. Both of them, to be honest. I think it's really tough. I'm going to go. It's hard for me because I just made amends with Dan Hurley. So I don't really want to piss him off at this point. We're good. It's been a rocky up and down relationship, but I think Illinois is the better team. I do. I watched like the first part of that UConn game. RC and I are like next to each other. We're like, man, like they're not good enough. They're not good. And then they just chip away and end up winning it. And I'm like, I still look at them. I think Illinois has got more weapons that I trust. I don't trust solo ball this year. I don't trust Demery. I think he's a shell of himself right now. He doesn't give you much offensively. Yeah, he was good defensively. He was. But again, he doesn't give you the scoring that you wanted.
You're not.
Can I ask you guys?
Terrace.
Can I ask you guys
It's so
this?
much about Terrace, and I think Terrace benefited too. He was a monster, but I do think he benefited from the fact that Patrick Gamba was not near 100%.
Oh, no doubt.
I don't think it mattered. He physically just overpowered
But
him.
would he have done that against Gamba if he big?
Yes,
Pat
he
is-
did. He gave Pat Conklin 4 fouls in like 14
What I'm
minutes.
saying is he wasn't healthy. Pat was not healthy. You could see it. I mean, I saw the game before that game. He was not near 100% for that game.
I just thought he had, when Tars Reed anchored, there was no moving him. Like that, it was just no matter who they put on him. They had trouble. Brown, they kept trying different things. You knew the play was coming. We were sitting there calling, all right, they're going to run a play. You sitting there, saw him calling strong. You knew it was coming to them. They couldn't do nothing. And they just, sometimes you notice when guys give up, when they just take the easy cop, it's like, I'm not giving them the layup. They just foul.
Yeah.
Like it was a couple of those. It wasn't
Brown
just
did that a couple of
There you
times.
go. Yes, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
It's the,
yeah.
I'm not giving up a layup, so I'm just going to foul. He got 3 or 4 of those. And that's when you're just physically overpowered with a guy and you've been told we're not giving him layups because he has struggled free throws. And then now he's starting to figure that out. So I won't argue with you that Illinois is probably coming down the stretch has played better. The honest reason why I lean toward UConn is just experience.
I hear you, and that's what works.
That's really the thing that I would say.
Yep.
If I had to speak anything negative about the Illini, is just experience of being in this moment. You got one team that's like expecting to be here, and then you got one team that's like, damn, we're here.
But when you say experience, you know, Caravan's been here.
Yeah.
Right? Demery hasn't been here. It's a new deal for him. You know, Reed hadn't been here. It'd be a new deal for him. You know what I'm saying?
I'm also
Mullins
talking
hadn't
about
been here.
years of playing, though, like just playing.
Oh,
like
yeah,
Keaton
yeah.
Wagner hasn't been in anything. You know what I mean? There's a lot of
Yeah, I
young
just think when you get to
freshman
this,
guys.
when you get to this point, you've played so many games. You played together. You had the battle through the Big Ten. You had the battle through the
You
tournament.
mean like Duke did on the last play, the inbound play? Like experience doesn't matter.
They knew what they were doing, but
but freshmen just.
but even in that situation, we talked about this.
Yes, we did.
Had he pitched the ball ahead,
Right.
and the kid would have dunked it, everybody would say, "What a heady point guard! That guy knows how to make a play. Get out." Give UConn credit. It had nothing to do with their experience. It really had to do with their length. They were long.
Well, I say that because it had a lot to do with Duke's inexperience, is what I'm saying. Meaning that an experienced guy would have caught it, held onto it. It's only 10 seconds. They got a foul. We go to the free throw line. I make 1 or 2, we can foul, or I make both, it's over. That's all I meant when I say experience.
I'm not trying to take up for a young boozer, but I'm just thinking
And I'm not saying he's at fault.
Yeah, he's thinking
Because
hey,
he's the
listen,
third
this
freshman to touch it. Cam could have kept it and held onto it. Don Maysar could have kept him onto it. I'm only saying inexperience of that is that a veteran guy would go, I catch this is over. And I'm not passing it. I'm going to stand here, be strong with it, get the foul, and then make the free throw.
You know what the problem was? They're too unselfish. They needed someone that was just like, if I get fouled, I can get 2 more points.
Well,
They needed that guy. That's why RC is saying this right now. He's like, if that would have been me, I knew I had a chance to go from
chance he's
18 to
giving that
20.
Sar didn't want to get fouled.
chance.
Sar didn't want.
Don May got rid of it quick.
He didn't want.
He's the worst free throw
But
shooter.
that's my
He knew
point.
it. He knew to get it out.
Well, can I say one thing about that? The ending, though. It's kind of driven me crazy a little bit since that game happened, right, in the last 3 days. Is all of the blame is falling on Caden Boozer when Duke was up by 19. They were up by 17 in the second half. They were up by double figures with 5 minutes left in the game, and they lost that. It wasn't that last play. It was the fact that they melted away a 17-point second half lead.
I mean,
that's why they
had
lost.
the pass to his brother, the Terrace, steal and dunk.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
he had other mistakes too.
but there was a
don't
bunch
take
of
him
them.
off the hook. He's
But how
a
many
part of it.
turnovers?
But yes,
but
it's
Cam
not on
Boozer
him.
got picked once by Terrace Reed. He had 3 where he tried to drive in and couldn't finish over Terrace. There
No,
was
it wasn't one play. We know that, but
It was also a hell of a play from Demery. I feel like
yes.
that gets like lost in this too. Is like him converging, getting a hand on the ball. Mullins not allowing it to bounce to the other side of half court. Like there's so
every
much
part
that
of
took
it.
place.
Every part of it. Caravan getting
that-
the ball and not just firing it up.
Yeah, it's insane.
Storm.
But like from the experience,
It's not anyone's fault. Somebody, a DNA, championship DNA showed up in a championship moment. It's just that simple. I don't think the Duke guys were wrong. We can sit here, like I said, Monday morning quarterback and say, hold the ball, keep it, and get fouled, which, again, I don't think that's an overstatement. I think that's something you would expect some guys to do. But again, 3 freshmen touched it. Caden does what he does best, is he gets the ball out of his hands. That's why he's considered a quintessential point guard, and that's what he does. And
let's be honest, RC. Let's be honest. The reason they won is because the National Player of the Year was outplayed by Terrace Reeves, who should have won National Player of the Year.
All right, we got to go through. On that, we really.
I'm picking Illinois, by the way.
You've obviously.
Are you?
That obviously
I've come to terms with it.
Shot. That can't be his first shot today.
No.
What this?
Hey, we might as well take. You might as well give him another shot. Just take it on
No
home.
chance.
You start
Happy
talking like
birthday
that.
to me.
Yeah, happy
See you
birthday,
after the
Rob.
break.
Boy. National.
As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same-game parlays, best-in-class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app, you sign up using bonus code FIELD, you deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today.
People. They're good. Good for laughs, for snorts, for cries, and goodbyes. People are good for doing nothing or getting up to something. People are good for squad goals and squad. People are good for these kinds of cheers and these kinds of cheers. People are good for you. Jim Beam. Best enjoyed together.
Taking care of your mental health shouldn't be harder than taking care of your physical health. If you pull a muscle, you go see a doctor. But when it comes to finding the right therapist, suddenly it's frustrating. You've got long wait lists or you're staring down huge out-of-pocket costs. That's where Rula comes in. Rula makes therapy simple, affordable, and fast. They work with most major insurance providers, and the average session copay is just $15. And with Rula, you're not matched and left to figure it out. They check in and they make sure that you're actually making progress. Every therapist on the platform is licensed, vetted, and picked for their expertise. So you know you're talking to someone legit, not whoever happens to be available. You answer a couple questions and Rula connects you with an in-network provider who actually fits your needs. You can be talking to a therapist as soon as the next day. Thousands of guys have already used Rula to get the care that they need. Don't keep putting it off. Go to rula.com/F68 and get started today. That's RULA.com/F68. Take the first step, get connected, and take control of your mental health. It's 2026. Everything in our world has leveled up. Our phones are supercomputers, your car parks itself, but your razor is still flimsy and overpriced. That's where Harry's Plus comes in. Harry's Plus has an advanced pivoting system to reach every corner of your face. It has refined blade tech for a close and smoother shave and has a weighted metal handle for added control and comfort. Most importantly for me, Harry's Plus has German engineered blades that are honed at 3 different angles to cut hair cleanly and without razor burn. I may have a beard, but I still need to shave my neck to make sure I don't look like Paul Gasol. And with Harry's, I have never dealt with razor burn, painful bumps, or the kind of nicks and cuts that you get with drugstore blades. If you don't love your shave, Harry's will make it right, no questions asked. There's zero downside to giving it a shot. For a limited time, our listeners get the Harry's Plus trial set for only $10 at harrys.com/F68. This set includes all new Harry's Plus razor, 1 refined 5-blade cartridge, a 2-ounce foaming shave gel, and a travel cover to protect your blades on the go. Just head to harrys.com/F68 and tell them we sent you. This week, Grab March by the claw at your favorite bar. White Claw, the official seltzer of the Field of 68 After Dark, is opening a $1 million bar tab for bracket season. Rally your crew, call for a couple of claws, and go to whiteclaw.com/couple of claws to score rebates or a chance at a gift card depending on your state. You must be 21. Rules and restrictions apply. Ends April 6, 2026. Drink responsibly. whiteclaw.com/couple of claws. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois. Today's episode of the Field of 68 is brought to you by Mando. Some men mask their BO with sense. Mando men get the job done right. Mando whole body deodorant was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. You want a solid deodorant stick? Mando's got one formulated and powered by a mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. You like spray bottles? Mando's is aluminum free and ideal for hard to reach places. All Mando products are baking soda and paragon free, and it's safe for anywhere on your body. Pits, balls, thighs, folds, feet, even the grundle. It's perfect for me this time of year. I'm spending 15 hours a day in an arena that hasn't had the AC turned on yet. If I didn't have Mando products, I might smell like the guy sitting next to me on press row, because Mando is clinically proven to control odor better than Old Spice. Want to try America's #1 whole body deodorant formula right now? You can find it in Walmart and Target and other retailers across the country. But for the best deals, go to shopmando.com and use code F68 for 20% off at checkout. March Madness is here, and you know what that means. It's a time of excitement and a time when legends are forged. In other words, it's a time to wear chubby. Skies out, thighs out, baby. It's getting warmer. The clock's moved up an hour, and it's time for Chubbies. Chubbies was founded in 2011 by a group of friends with a simple mission: rid closets of uncomfortable clothes and put the fun back in functional fits. They set out to create shorts, trunks, and polos that put personality back into your wardrobe with fits that look good and feel even better. Chubby shorts aren't just insanely comfortable. They're built with premium fabrics that are quick drying, wrinkle resistant, and antimicrobial. Chubbies keeps you comfy, casual, and dangerously confident. For a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners a 20% off discount with code F68 at chubbiesshorts.com. That's 20% off your order with code F68. Give your thighs the VIP treatment that they deserve. Support our show and tell them we sent you.
Well, welcome back to the Field of 68's live show here at Tom's Watch Bar. Rob Dauster, Mike McTulip, Jeff Goodman, Norm Roberts, and Randolph Childress. Let's talk about Michigan and Arizona. Michigan is now a 1.5 point favorite in this game, RC. Do you agree with the idea that Michigan is the better of the two teams here? And what do you think is going to be the key to this matchup?
Again, I will, Elaine, again, I said when we talk about, Norm and I were talking on the break, I think experience matters. I think Michigan is the more experienced team. I mean, this is a really young Arizona team, even though all year long, I still believe this, I think from November to now, Arizona's been the best team in college basketball. I think Michigan has had more consistent moments. I know they beat teams, they were getting caught up in those things, but I thought the November and December schedule of Arizona was better. Their wins were better. And I thought they were better prepared playing in the Big 12. I thought it was the best conference. I know the Big 10 got a lot of teams in, but I thought the top of that league were all, Iowa State. You're talking legitimate national championship contenders. I don't think we can say that with everybody in the Big 10. And numbers-wise, they were the best team in this year as far as that. But this is a pick'em game. It really is. I mean, you can't go wrong either way. I mean, if I can't argue against someone that says Michigan is going to win this game. Now, we just talked about the news of Elliot Cadeau. That could come back to bite them in a little bit. Obviously, if he's not there now, we may see the injury to Kaysen and what that brings. Without him being there, we'll see what happens. I don't want to speculate too much on that. I'm still leaning toward Arizona because of what I've seen all year long. They've just been the best team. I think who wins that Jaden Bradley, Elliot Cadeau matchup tilts the needle toward which team wins.
Norm?
I think I've been saying it all year. I think Jaden Bradley's the best closer in college basketball this year. The guy just makes plays for himself or for others. The other thing that happened in the Big 12 tournament that was amazing, Burries and Koa Pete in the semifinal, I think it was the semifinal game, they looked like freshmen. They played like freshmen. They turned it over. They were just totally out of sync. And then coming back in the championship game, they were lights out. So I think those two young guys learned. They learned. They've been through so much. I think Burries is unbelievable scorer, unbelievable in transition. Poa Pete, after getting injured and coming back and kind of sitting and watching, has made him a better player. He's had a greater impact on Arizona's team.
And what's the other guy name?
Porchenkov.
Oh.
I got it pretty close.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
No,
It's close. It's pretty good.
And he would have been KR for me. KR's out
That's what we gonna call him.
but he has been terrific.
He's been
and you cannot underestimate his defensive prowess, but also his ability to cut and move without the ball. He's a very, very good player.
I think, again, that's the reason why I pick Arizona, because of these 4 teams played. They got the one guy, they got the best closer of the 4 teams in Jaden Bradley. They got a guard at that they can give the ball to and say, take me home. And that was why I picked him. But again, this is that game is, I think both games will pick them.
It's going to be terrific. I'm telling you, this was crazy. Previs is a monster when he's out there. And then they bring in Toby Awaka, who's ginormous. That guy comes in the game, and he's probably the best rebounder in college. But seeing him go up against Perez Johnson,
I was just going to say,
unbelievable, man.
That's going to be terrific.
Krivas is a monster. Yet
So is Mara.
He looks up at Adai Mara. Awaka is a monster, yet he looks up at Perez Johnson. Koa Pete is a monster and an athletic freak, and he's looking up at Yaxel. I mean, the matchup in the front court is going to be incredible. And I think if Arizona can just kind of hold their own up front, I think they have an advantage, a major advantage on the backcourt. I trust Jaden Bradley and Braden Burries far more than I trust Cadeau, McKinney, whoever it is, and they have a bunch of guys like Roddy Gale, Burnett. They got a bunch of guys. Arizona's got 2 dudes in the backcourt. And that's why I think Arizona, to me, has an advantage.
Real quick, before you get to that, you mentioned Elliot Cadeau. A statement that Michigan released today was, quote, before the team departed the Player Development Center today, Elliot Cadeau alerted the medical staff that he may have had an allergic reaction to something that he ate. The doctors evaluated Elliot, and he is fine. So that's what there was pictures of him getting taken out in an ambulance. So it sounds like he. What
do you think he ate?
I don't know, but it's probably something with if you have a nut allergy, then there's different oils or something that you may not realize.
Usually when you're packing up to go bus or they're gonna fly to Indy, you get you get a sub.
Right.
They give the players a sub. They give somebody.
It's a little bit better.
Chipotle. Maybe.
It's a little bit nicer than what's back in the
sure.
day.
Yes, for sure.
No, it's usually a sit down. This usually a sit down meal. The sandwich you get
on the way. I'm saying on the way out.
I feel like it's going to be the fish. I feel like whatever the fish was up there, Elliot might have tried it.
Something. He might have tried something a little different.
Big mistake, Elliot. Don't try the fish.
Don't try it. I will say, though, because we're on the topic of experience, and for Arizona and honestly for Illinois as well, I think we've seen this year, Duke falls in the same category with how reliant they were on freshmen. We've seen the contrast now where, think about Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey. 2 talented freshmen with just a poor infrastructure around them. And now
I haven't thought about those 2 in a long time.
Well, I'm just saying, you see, how about the stark contrast? Ace and Dylan are both incredibly talented players and would be in the mix with these guys in the top 8 of this draft. But you see, when they don't have the infrastructure around them, the inefficiencies, all these dudes are insulated. Burries is insulated, Pete's insulated, Wagler's insulated, Mirkovic is insulated because of the talent around him, the structure, the scheme. You can take chances defensively because you got Krivas behind you. For Illinois, it's we're super conservative defensively, so we don't get in foul trouble. All that stuff, I think, protects those guys. And so, I think for this game, I think about the paint. That's the first place my mind goes, because I was talking about this, I think, last night, but this year, Michigan, 2 teams have scored over 40 points in the paint on them in a game. Arizona averages 42. And it's the same on the flip side of that too. So who is going to own the paint and plant their flag there? And that starts with a myriad of things. That's not just. I think we think of protecting the paint hey, when they throw it into Krivas or when they that's transition. Especially with these 2 teams, transition defense, that's dribble penetration in the half court, that's defending without fouling. That's the challenge on both ends. I think both these teams have the highest gear And that's why they've been a top college basketball. These two teams have the highest gear in college basketball, which I think could open this. I know it's a 1.5 point spread, right?
It is.
There could be some volatility in this game because both these teams are so combustible with big time
How
runs.
it's officiated may be the most underrated
100%.
aspect of it. How is the game officiated? Will they call quick ticky-tack fouls to kind of take control of, like, hey, we're not going to allow this, or are they going to let the guys go? I hope that's not the case, but we'll see.
It'll be the most physical game
Yes.
Michigan's played all year, by far. I guarantee you. They are a physical team, Arizona.
How do you beat them, Norm?
You have to make shots. You have to be able to guard in the paint and keep them off the glass. That's a really, and now Michigan has all the pieces to do that. Marr, he's got 100 block shots this year. That's unbelievable, that guy. So they can protect the rim, but you have got to keep them off the glass because they get so many second chance opportunities. And when they play a Waka and Krivas together, man.
That's the key because you look at Tennessee, and I know they boat raced Tennessee, but
Tennessee's not in the class of
Estrella, those guys, they got 16 second chance points. Illinois, and they beat Illinois too, 20 second chance points. Duke, lose to Duke, 18 second chance points. Like those tandem bigs have been able to get them on second chance points. But in those two games where they beat Illinois and they beat Tennessee, they shot it well. Duke, they didn't shoot it well. So then those second chance points really come back to bite you. So it's hard to hone in on one key. For these teams are so good. It's impossible to kind of highlight one thing because there's so many.
You got to break it up in sections. I mean, that front court matchup is massive.
Yes.
I think that most people like Jeff, I think you feel like the backcourt because of Barry's is a freshman. He's been incredible. But Jaden Bradley's the one. I think that tilts it. He's just the best closer left in the Final Four.
That's what it is to me.
It's a swing.
It's like that these two teams are it's going to be a heavyweight battle.
Because it's going to come down to that, right? I don't think, unless someone plays out of their mind, right? Unless something drastic happens, we can fast forward this and then go inside of 4 minutes, and this is a one-possession game.
So you're saying you don't want the other 36 minutes?
No. It's going to be fun. It's all going to be part of the storyline. But I'd be surprised if any one of the teams run away from this and this game goes down and it becomes who do you put the ball in their hands and can they make a play? And that's where I shift to Arizona because I'm buying stock in Jaden Bradley saying,
well, what if Michigan? What if Michigan has a 12 or 13 3-point game? Like, does that variance catch up to Arizona at this point?
The X factor for them is Del Orso.
Yeah,
Del Orso's made some shots now, and that guy, he's got great size. He can really shoot.
Yeah,
the ball
but
too.
Michigan's got McKinney coming off the
yeah, same thing.
I mean, he's great.
They both match up.
I think the other X factor is, again, you don't have LJ Casey.
He's
So
a
in
key.
that second unit, when you take Cadeau out, or if Cadeau is struggling, you don't have another guard.
He's
that you've
been good.
used to
But
have.
that's what we talked about. You and I were talking about. I think that's where they've changed. I thought early in the year they were good. Like even going back to the early games when they played Wake, they were primarily giving the ball to Elliot Cadeau, and I thought they struggled some. You've seen some of his worst games doing that. Now with Yaxu having a ball in his hands, being like the de facto point guard in the half court, it's freed Elliot Cadeau up. So now he doesn't have to worry about I'm bringing it up against Jaden Bradley. He can get physical on me. Now I'm getting off of it. So now when I get it, I'm getting it off the move, which means he's off of my body. I get to use my speed. I get to be more aggressive offensively, and I think that's why he's been so consistent in how he plays is because he doesn't have to dominate and play like a traditional point guard.
and he's shooting it well.
That's why
allows you to
it
get
allows,
you, yeah,
it
allows you to get
because
off
now
ball.
he's not setting guys up. He gets to be like, all right, you're worried about his penetration. I get the more shots. So now he's playing a little bit more off the ball to allow him to be better offensively, and I think he's had a hell of a year.
If Yaxel's going to play some point, I'm going to say the name again. Korchenkov is going
That's the matchup.
He's going to try to get up, and he is going to try to pressure the heck out of Yaxel. He's not going to let him just get to his sweet spot and get to where
And
he
he's
wants to
physically strong enough to do it.
And he is. He's physically strong.
He's the one guy, when you watch Yaxel, it's not like you're watching a college basketball player. It feels like you're watching a guy that should be the star, like a high-level starter on the NBA team that just so happens to be in college. I mean, he is 24 years old, so he's almost as old as David Mirkovic. And he's got...
I mean, at some point, we got to, this is like, put like community note, something like this is just inaccurate information we're spewing here. He's going to be 29 by the time we get to
Yeah,
Friday.
he'll be
He might be.
32.
Did you know that that Mirkovic and Latulip were in the same graduating class? They both took the same recruiting visit to Illinois.
He was probably 8 when I was at Illinois,
No, I think he is.
think he was.
for all I know.
Karchinkov, as Norm puts it, Karchinkakov.
He adds
A little flavor. There's a little extra.
He paused in it. He got a little pause in it.
That's the New Yorker in him.
Exactly.
That's a New Yorker. No, I think he's the one guy that's like built to be able to guard Yaxel because he's 6'8", because he's 220, because he has the length, because he's physical enough to be able to do it. But I just when you think about Yaxel, right? And I said this to you yesterday, Mike. He picks up point guards and guards point guards 94 feet. He is 6'9", 240, right? Do you know what Terrace Reed is listed at? Yaxel Lendenberg is 6'9", 240 and picks up point guards full court. Terrace Reed is listed at 6'10", 250. So he's an inch taller and 10 pounds heavier. And he's like your low post monster. And then you have Yaxel at 6'9", 240, picking up point guards, guarding 94 feet. That's not normal.
Hey, you know who's going to guard Yaxel too? Toby Awaka.
Yeah.
Toby Awaka, he can
guard.
his
He can move.
feet.
He can move.
He can really move his feet. So that'll be an interesting when they go a little small.
Toby's going to make a lot of money as a tight end somewhere.
I wonder with Burries and with Bradley, because we've just seen like Michigan's going to switch 1 through 4 a lot of times. So Yaxel's not going to have a consistent matchup. But then there's times where he's like, enough is enough. Like, when Diggy Coit was going off at Maryland earlier this season, he's like, we're not switching. That's my guy. He's picking him up full court. But I wonder, like, if Bradley and Burries can go off in tandem, you can only guard one of them. So then it pushes to Cadeau, it pushes to McKinney, it pushes some of these other guys to step up and be solid defensively. Like that's
By the way,
that's
Rob,
that's the 17th key.
Rob, you were correct. Nut allergy.
Yeah.
The nut allergy. I'm giving you credit on your birthday here. I'm giving you kudos.
You're finally right. You're finally right.
I might have known a thing or two. You're not the only one with sources here.
Wow, look at you. I don't believe you, but he will join the team tonight.
Was I correct?
You were. It was
So my sources were correct.
your gut. Your gut was correct, and you've got a big gut.
Yeah, there's a lot of sources in there. There's a lot of sources in there. Listen, we got to get to a break. On the other side, Terrence Oglesby is going to join the show. That's coming up next.
As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same-game parlays, best-in-class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app. You sign up using bonus code FIELD. You deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today.
People. They're good. Good for laughs, for snorts, for cries, and goodbyes. People are good for doing nothing. Or getting up to something. People are good for squad goals. And squad. People are good for these kinds of cheers. And these kinds of cheers. People are good. For you. Jim Beam. Best enjoyed together.
Taking care of your mental health shouldn't be harder than taking care of your physical health. If you pull a muscle, you go see a doctor. But when it comes to finding the right therapist, suddenly it's frustrating. You've got long wait lists or you're staring down huge out-of-pocket costs. That's where Rula comes in. Rula makes therapy simple, affordable, and fast. They work with most major insurance providers, and the average session copay is just $15. And with Rula, you're not matched and left to figure it out. They check in and they make sure that you're actually making progress. Every therapist on the platform is licensed, vetted, and picked for their expertise. So you know you're talking to someone legit, not whoever happens to be available. You answer a couple questions and Rula connects you with an in-network provider who actually fits your needs. You can be talking to a therapist as soon as the next day. Thousands of guys have already used Rula to get the care that they need. Don't keep putting it off. Go to rula.com/F68 and get started today. That's RULA.com/F68. Take the first step, get connected, and take control of your mental health. It's 2026. Everything in our world has leveled up. Our phones are supercomputers, your car parks itself, but your razor is still flimsy and overpriced. That's where Harry's Plus comes in. Harry's Plus has an advanced pivoting system to reach every corner of your face. It has refined blade tech for a close and smoother shave, and has a weighted metal handle for added control and comfort. Most importantly for me, Harry's Plus has German-engineered blades that are honed at 3 different angles to cut hair cleanly and without razor burn. I may have a beard, but I still need to shave my neck to make sure I don't look like Paul Gasol. And with Harry's, I have never dealt with razor burn, painful bumps, or the kind of nicks and cuts that you get with drugstore blades. If you don't love your shave, Harry's will make it right, no questions asked. There's zero downside to giving it a shot. For a limited time, our listeners get the Harry's Plus trial set for only $10 at harrys.com/F68. This set includes all new Harry's Plus razor, 1 refined 5-blade cartridge, a 2-ounce foamy shave gel, and a travel cover to protect your blades on the go. Just head to harrys.com/F68 and tell them we sent you. This week, grab March by the Claw at your favorite bar. White Claw, the official seltzer of the Field of 68 After Dark, is opening a $1 million bar tab for bracket season. Rally your crew, call for a couple of claws, and go to whiteclaw.com/couple of claws to score rebates or a chance at a gift card depending on your state. You must be 21. Rules and restrictions apply. Ends April 6, 2026. Drink responsibly. whiteclaw.com/couple of claws. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois. Today's episode of the Field of 68 is brought to you by Mando. Some men mask their BO with sense. Mando men get the job done right. Mando whole body deodorant was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. You want a solid deodorant stick? Mando's got one formulated and powered by a mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. You like spray bottles? Mando's is aluminum free and ideal for hard to reach places. All Mando products are baking soda and paragon free, and it's safe for anywhere on your body. Pits, balls, thighs, folds, feet, even the grundle. It's perfect for me this time of year. I'm spending 15 hours a day in an arena that hasn't had the AC turned on yet. If I didn't have Mando products, I might smell like the guy sitting next to me on press row, because Mando is clinically proven to control odor better than Old Spice. Want to try America's #1 whole body deodorant formula right now? You can find it in Walmart and Target and other retailers across the country. But for the best deals, go to shopmando.com and use code F68 for 20% off at checkout. March Madness is here, and you know what that means. It's a time of excitement and a time when legends are forged. In other words, it's a time to wear chubby. Skies out, thighs out, baby. It's getting warmer. The clock's moved up an hour, and it's time for Chubbies. Chubbies was founded in 2011 by a group of friends with a simple mission: rid closets of uncomfortable clothes and put the fun back in functional fits. They set out to create shorts, trunks, and polos that put personality back into your wardrobe with fits that look good and feel even better. Chubby shorts aren't just insanely comfortable. They're built with premium fabrics that are quick drying, wrinkle resistant, and antimicrobial. Chubbies keeps you comfy, casual, and dangerously confident. For a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners a 20% off discount with code F68 at chubbiesshorts.com. That's 20% off your order with code F68. Give your thighs the VIP treatment that they deserve. Support our show and tell them we sent you.
Hell, there he is.
Chubbies is the perfect name for a sponsorship that involves Jeff Goodman. So here we are. Terrence Oglesby,
Sir,
join us on the show. It's
Happy to
perfect
be
time.
here.
Perfect timing because we're going to talk about some ACC coaching changes here.
we're done talking about Michigan and Arizona.
For the moment, we
have plenty of time.
We have the ACC Network's own Terrence Oglesby on here. So why would we not talk about ACC coaching changes?
That's a good idea. Don't you think that's a good idea, Randolph? Give the league some love.
You got it. I'm gonna back you up on this.
All right, let's do it.
Take the lead. I got
Let's start with the biggest opening in college basketball right now in North Carolina. I'm going to go to you first on Goodman. What can you tell us about where this kind of search stands? It feels like we are
at a standstill.
We're stalled because Billy Donovan's season hasn't finished, Tommy Lloyd's season hasn't finished, Dusty May's season hasn't finished.
Yeah, I mean, Dusty May, unlikely per my sources. And I think Tommy Lloyd is above Dusty May right now on North Carolina's wish list. So North Carolina's going to wait it out, see what happens with these two guys, and make sure. And again, I don't think Dusty May takes it. I think Tommy Lloyd is, there's a chance.
I think he's the guy.
There's a chance at this point. And if he doesn't, then I think they go full throttle on Billy Donovan. But I think Billy, the big thing with Billy is, listen, I'm not talking to anybody until I'm the guy. Not from I don't think that's from an arrogant
He shouldn't have to interview. He's a two-time national championship coach.
Exactly.
I'm not interviewing for your job. You either give it to me or you're not.
And if you want
That's
me,
fair.
then I will go through the process and see if it's the right fit for me. But I'm not going to go through this whole deal of, interviewing in the middle of my season. Well, not the middle, but
You're going to need the distraction.
yeah, and then not getting the job. So I think Billy is kind of down the road here. I think they're going to wait and see what happens again with these two guys. Hopeful that they can maybe land Tommy Lloyd at this point. As I've said multiple times, Tommy Lloyd and his athletic director are not great per sources. So I think there's.
Can you elaborate on, because I've heard that not
I've
just
heard
from
this
you.
too, quite a bit.
I mean,
what is
I don't
that?
want to kill the athletic director at my alma mater here.
But what is it when
I
you-
really don't
they
need
put-
this. I don't need this. I'm trying to get my alma mater back on my side, and you're going to ask me to kill.
You got the
Desiree.
shirt.
I'm not asking you to. I'm just asking you to provide context of why Tommy Lloyd does not get along with his boss.
I don't know if it's that he doesn't get along. I think ultimately there's some issues there. There's some things there that maybe.
Where's the money going?
Part of it is right, and part of it is Arizona right now isn't in a great financial spot as a university. So trying to allocate as much money to NIL, not an easy task when you're talking about where the school is at financially. So I think that'll be important here. Now Carolina isn't all. They're not ponying up $10 million a year for their head coach. Just so we know. Like they're in that $7 to $8 million range, which Arizona.
I don't know how they're going to be able to make it with that kind of money.
That's what I'm saying.
How are they going to be able to? Is 7, 8 million for the coach or for the NIL?
Coach.
Pork and beans. Hot dogs and pork and beans.
NIL, I think Carolina and Arizona would probably be.
Better load up on that spam. There's not enough money. $7, $8 million in Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
Tough place to live, man, T.O. It's expensive down there, man.
Man,
You want Tommy Lloyd?
I think Tommy Lloyd's the guy. I think he gets his guys to play in a certain way that would be conducive to what Carolina fans like. I love Dusty May too. I think that could certainly work. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like Dusty's very comfortable at Michigan, and not saying that. He wouldn't thrive at Carolina because I think he has the personality to thrive at Carolina. But being somewhat second fiddle to football, we know that's the
You
case.
think Tommy Lloyd's personality does better in North Carolina than Dusty?
He's a little ornery. I'll give it to you, but
I don't. Here's my issue.
I think Dusty has a great personality for it. I think Tommy Lloyd, just
Not
like
on
the stars
social
are
media.
aligning.
Not on social media. Doesn't really do much in the community. Doesn't have to because he's taken over and won right away. And Tucson's so different than Chapel Hill, guys. So different. You can go out for dinner and not be bothered. You try to do that in Chapel Hill. Now, again, Hubert probably did it. But it's tougher. It's much more. You're the Carolina head coach. That's a different level than the Arizona head coach, guys. It's a different level.
I don't think they can go wrong with either one.
Yeah,
I think, I wouldn't be as dismissive toward Dusty May. I think both coaches, rightfully so. You're at this point. You want to close the deal, win a national championship, block out the distractions. But I would have to say he's always and will be second fiddle in Michigan and Auburn. Let's call it what it is. I think as much as Carolina tries to get that football program going, it's just never going to compare to.
They did a bang-up job this year.
I don't care who else you got. You can't get a bigger name than Bill Belichick and still play second fiddle. I don't think they can go wrong with either one. I just hope that's a big check. I think, Jeff, where I would hope to push back on you, not that I know or care, for Carolina, I just think you got to have a blank check saying, if you're going after these guys that are here right now.
They don't have it. I'm just saying they're not given the blank check.
I'll say this.
Yet.
They may not, but they have the means and the access and the people to do so. Right. So if that's the case, hey, Jordan, hey, Mike, come on down. How bad you want to win? Hey, put another zero on this check.
I don't think Mike.
Mike just wants some money off
Mike
NASCAR,
knows who
too.
Tommy Lloyd is.
He doesn't need to know. He just needs to know we need money to add to get him in here. He'll know after this tournament.
Yeah,
don't
I saw
think
he's
Michael
worth
Jordan
like
knows
3.5 billion. So I think he could afford.
No, I don't think Michael Jordan knows who Tommy Lloyd is.
No.
But he knows who Jerry Stackhouse is.
I don't think he knew who his head coach of the Hornets was when he owned the team. For what it's worth.
Here's my question to you guys on this one: is if Tommy Lloyd wins the whole thing, is he more or less likely
Ask T.O. this.
to leave?
We talked about this at lunch. Ask T.O. this.
It's early.
T.O.
What?
If Tommy Lloyd wins the national title, is he more or less likely to leave Arizona?
To me, like that's a question that I've been asked several times, and we've kind of gone back and forth. I don't think it deters him from taking another job if he wins a national championship. We figured out the problem. We did it. We did it for your team. Now,
But isn't it hard?
you're welcome, world. I won you a national championship. Let me go about my way. You're already talking about their money and all that stuff and how it's kind of a big deal in Tucson. This is Carolina, man.
I think it's hard. I think it'd be hard.
I think it's easier.
It'd be pretty unprecedented.
I think it's
no,
easier.
not that it's unprecedented. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go somewhere where I just won the national championship that has not won it in God knows how long has it been, Jeff? 20 what years? 30 years? 97, all right?
Do some math. That's it.
You want to make me
29.
think. I had enough sleep to think. Nearly 30 years.
Good job.
I think he's okay. I think he's safe there for quite some time, as opposed to going somewhere that has national championship expectations, and that coming short of that again. They just fire the coaches.
You know what Tommy likes to
getting
do?
to the tournament isn't enough at Carolina. It's trying to win a national championship. So if he does that there,
here's another one for you. Tommy loves. He's able right now. He's got a pickleball court in his house. He can play pickleball every day in the morning. And you know what? If he wins the national title, he can play all day. He can play in the morning.
He can play forever if he wins the national championship.
And nobody's going to say a damn thing.
He moves to North Carolina. He could buy all the land he wants and put 10 pickleball courts out there for $7 million.
Your lifestyle changes. Your lifestyle changes where you
the
have
weather's
to
nicer.
prove something. Where at Arizona you win it all. You've already proven it. You've already proven it. And he's a West Coast guy from Oregon, coached in Spokane for years. Now at Arizona. Yes, his kids are older. I don't know. I think it's a tough move to make if you win it all.
I didn't know the pickleball component to this because
that adds a whole different level here.
Now Hansborough's ears are perking up.
It's everything. That's I'm just saying he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, no,
That's what I'm trying to say is he can do whatever he wants in Tucson, and nobody bothers him. If you don't win at North Carolina in year one, you know what happens? People start to question whether it's the right move.
I think from a competitive standpoint, I think there's a lot of coaches out there that the failure piece doesn't really enter their mind. Like they think they're a great coach. They think they'll be successful wherever they go, whether it's, hey, I'm assistant at Gonzaga, I'm going to Arizona. And they've been on, go back 20 years with Gonzaga. Like the whole international shift in college basketball, they've been on the forefront for forever, it feels
Tommy
like.
has. Tommy was the guy.
And with Gonzaga, and then obviously doing what he did at Arizona, obviously Sean Miller was doing that as well, but continuing that at Arizona, and it hasn't been, you've seen a little bit of it at Carolina, but he's also had great balance. Like he's had the international, he's got the freshman this year, he's got the transfers and Jaden Brett. Like he's got all those boxes checked, which I think makes him probably, as T.O. said, the best candidate for the job.
Well, he's done it in so many different ways.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at. And, he plays two bigger players. Carolina, you don't think those guys would love to come back and dominate the glass?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, Tommy Lloyd would be 1A.
Fit in playing style. I'm not saying he
sounds
fit in
just like Dean Smith.
He's talking about lifestyle.
I'm just talking if you're Tommy Lloyd. And I'm not saying it because it's my alma mater at all. Trust me, I know Carolina's a better job. I'll be the first one to say Carolina's clearly a step above Arizona as far as a job. It's a top 3 job in America. Arizona is a top 10-ish job in America. Now, again, this all changes with NIL. But I do think there's something to be said for having one, proven it, for a guy where work-life balance is super important because, especially for the guy that he worked with for 20 years, was the ultimate in work-life balance. Do you want to go to Carolina? And I'll say this from...
Well, what can he do in Tucson that he can't do? Go to dinner? Is that what you're telling me? Is that the only thing that's different?
No, I'm just saying all of it. The pressure. The pressure is not there at Arizona. You just won a title if you win a title. The pressure immediately is there at North Carolina if you don't win. You got to do it all over again.
He's got so much credit if he stays at Arizona. If he wins it, he's built up so much equity.
Even if he does it.
We're talking winning a national championship. We're talking like winning a national championship. It's like winning a conference championship.
You're God there. You're God. They've only won
winning
one.
This thing is so hard. Like it's so hard, and we're just annoying. We're just acting like, all right, yeah, we're gonna hire that guy, and he's gonna do it here. He hadn't done it yet. And even though they're good, we're sitting here talking. There's a dog in this matchup against Michigan, so he's not expected to win this one.
Hey, real quick, how many championships has North Carolina won?
I don't know.
More than two. More than two hands.
I know.
So, how many has Arizona won? You said one.
One.
There's your answer.
But it's different
It's
now.
not
Also,
now.
It's
Not now.
different. It's a different ballgame
Not
now.
now.
If North Carolina is paying the same amount of money for NIL and salary or similar, I think it changes things. It closes the gap a little bit. Again, Carolina's
It's
still
not
a
that
better
big
job.
of a drop off. It's not like we're sitting here talking about he's at some mid-major program and he's running the table. It's freaking Arizona, right? It's not like he's living somewhere where it's like the weather's so poor, he wants to get out of winter, he wants to get somewhere south. Again, winning a national championship, all those other issues, I don't care if it's AD, whatever it is, she's not touching him. She's got a national championship coach. That's built him so much equity and leeway.
He'll run it now.
Leeway that you're going to go somewhere else where, until you know this, the Carolina fans doesn't care. The national championship is this. What have you done for us? I don't care what you've done at Arizona, and he has to win that. Is he up for the challenge? Maybe it is. Maybe he says after I win it, if they want me and I want to take that job, then so be it. He's looking for the challenge. There's resources there, maybe unlimited. We'll see. But I just think that's hard to do if they win. I think Carolina has a better chance of getting him if Arizona does not win it.
One thing that I'll add to that is, I don't know, I just think like their roster next year. Like, is this a point? And not to say that he couldn't reload at Arizona. He absolutely could. There's a chance their top seven's gone. With Bradley, with Pete, with Burries, with Awaka, with Krivas. Like, Krivas could go.
He's already,
Del Orso's gone, would be gone.
He's already started, though, right? They have Caleb Holt committed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got two freshmen.
Yeah, they got
Caleb Holt would like to stay on the East Coast. I'm not worried about that.
He's got an international guy already done. He's got one done already. They'll get a couple transfers, whether it's at Carolina. It's the same guys. I mean, he's recruiting the same guys at Carolina and Arizona right now.
Yeah. What are we talking about? I think he's going to take the job.
Well, the only reason why
we've pointed out all the reasons for him not to. The reason is it's Carolina.
Sure.
And not only that, I think Carolina provides a unique challenge in that, like, guys will stay at Carolina. People get out of Arizona pretty quick. Not saying that they haven't had retention, because they have under Tommy Lloyd, but there's a certain element to Carolina, much like Duke, where you hear about the brotherhood, and half the brotherhood doesn't know the other half of the brotherhood. So I think half of it's made up. I'm just going to say it.
You don't believe in the Duke brotherhood?
Does Austin Rivers know the players personally that they're at Duke right now? No, he doesn't. You think he reached out to Kyle Singler? No, I don't think so. So, like, that's kind of where I'm at with some of these things. What, am I wrong? Producers went a little nuts there. I will, but like the thing is there's some real things with this Carolina family, right? Like, there's actual. Like, talk to John Henson, talk to some of those guys. They go back frequently. So
ask Hubert.
There's something about ask Hubert.
No.
Ask Hubert. If Hubert was mad at somebody, he would probably already leave Chapel Hill. He's still living there, right? That's where I'm at.
Well, I would say this. The fact that he hasn't come out and said anything yet makes me think there's a chance he leaves.
Yeah, I think
what is he supposed to say?
Well, if the contract's done, if you could get the contract done in Arizona.
You can't avoid the distractions right now.
But could you have gotten, if you're going to stay at Arizona, if you're going to stay at Arizona and you've got a contract, and you say to yourself, I pretty much know, here's what I need. And your agent's dealing with it over the last week.
I agree. That hasn't happened yet. All right. Obviously, it hasn't happened yet. They haven't given him whatever he wanted, cosplay they hadn't given. There's some validity to it, but he's smart to do it. No different than Dusty May. Dusty May should, that's what coaches do in this. They're like, hey, link me to this job. So now when the offseason comes, you're going to come back and get me an extension. So I think it's valid. Carolina's waiting. There's something there, right? They're waiting on one of these guys. But to get one of these guys, they're going to have to do something that they haven't done. And that's essentially,
separate themselves.
That's essentially saying, here's this check. What does it take? There's no negotiating. It's like if you're going to go get Tommy Lloyd, there's no negotiating. It's what do you want? And it's when you're on that plane, it's all your, I'm not joking when the logo needs to be there. When I buy logo, I mean Stretch Man logo. He needs to be on his jet with you and every other Carolina grad you can get to go get him because it's a big hire. Again,
you want to see, you think Michael Jordan needs to be there?
I think if I'm the AD,
Good luck.
I'm asking Mike. No, Mike's involved in that program. Let's not kid ourselves with that.
Be there. Mike might FaceTime him.
Hey, just give him a round of golf.
All right. He might show up for that.
Give him a round of golf.
For that. That's true.
So you're getting him to go to Arizona too.
So if Tommy Lloyd, let's say he doesn't take it. Let's say he doesn't, for argument's sake, and Dusty May says no.
There you go.
Is Billy Donovan the guy for all of us? Is he the easy pick, or are there reservations about a guy who has not been in college basketball
I have reservations
more than a decade?
I definitely have. It's not necessarily about the coaching part of it, although I do think that there is some of the way that the college game has changed over the years.
I actually think that helps more than hurts.
Too. Yeah, but it goes beyond that, T.O. Like when he was there, think about his teams that won it. Right, he had 3 lottery picks that all decided to come back because they loved spending so much time there before NIL, when NIL was still under the table.
Well, right? he had McCall on the staff,
well,
that's the reason they won so many games.
McCall already told us that if Billy Donovan gets the job, he's leaving for North Carolina to be their GA. He's already informed the field of 68.
He's gonna be the GA.
That's what he's doing.
He's gonna be the GA. He's going back to school.
No, my only reservation there is, Billy Donovan, the last game of the season is what, April 12th? Like, portal's going to be open for what? 6 days before?
Portal's already, who are we kidding?
But you know what I mean. Like, being able to grab some of the best in the portal, you're going to try to get it done quickly.
We're talking about unprecedented. You're going to quit an NBA head coaching job to go take a college job in the middle of the season?
No, that's not going to happen.
During the regular season? Like, think about what we're even suggesting.
Well, their last game's April 12th is kind of what I'm saying.
But still, the portal's already started.
That was my argument.
And he doesn't have his staff. I don't worry about all the other stuff. That would be the only thing that I think that's a concern. The staff, the adjustment, everybody's adjusting to this. This is more of an NBA game the way it's run anyway. He has enough relationships and coaches in the college game. He's not that far removed from it. He's obviously had a ton of success. He'll crush it if he got it. It's just a matter of, does he want to deal with this? I mean, it's a significantly different lifestyle from coaching in the NBA to now even a job like Carolina.
I think we might have talked about this, but a lot of the coaches that have had success, even just in this NCAA tournament, have started in college, went to the NBA, and came back to college.
Yeah.
Pitino, Cal, Hoiberg, Kelvin Sampson did it. There's those guys being really well traveled in that regard. Like, I think you just get exposed to, like, coming back system. I'm fine with, Billy Donovan will figure it out. I mean, you got a staff, they'll run good stuff, but I also think he's prepped to deal with some of the the other BS that's going on around college basketball right now. It's different than from when he was there, but it's more similar to me to the pro ecosystem than it is the collegiate ecosystem he left.
All right. When we come back, we have a special guest. Rob doesn't know who it is. None of these guys know who it is, and they won't till he gets on the desk here.
As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same-game parlays, best-in-class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app, You sign up using bonus code FIELD. You deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today.
People, they're good. Good for laughs, for snorts, for cries, and goodbyes. People are good for doing nothing, or getting up to something. People are good for squad goals, and squad. People are good for these kinds of cheers, and these kinds of cheers. People are good for you. Jim Beam, best enjoyed together.
Taking care of your mental health shouldn't be harder than taking care of your physical health. If you pull a muscle, you go see a doctor. But when it comes to finding the right therapist, suddenly it's frustrating. You've got long wait lists or you're staring down huge out-of-pocket costs. That's where Rula comes in. Rula makes therapy simple, affordable, and fast. They work with most major insurance providers, and the average session copay is just $15. And with Rula, you're not matched and left to figure it out. They check in and they make sure that you're actually making progress. Every therapist on the platform is licensed, vetted, and picked for their expertise. So you know you're talking to someone legit, not whoever happens to be available. You answer a couple questions and Rula connects you with an in-network provider who actually fits your needs. You can be talking to a therapist as soon as the next day. Thousands of guys have already used Rula to get the care that they need. Don't keep putting it off. Go to rula.com/F68 and get started today. That's RULA.com/F68. Take the first step, get connected, and take control of your mental health. It's 2026. Everything in our world has leveled up. Our phones are supercomputers, your car parks itself, but your razor is still flimsy and overpriced. That's where Harry's Plus comes in. Harry's Plus has an advanced pivoting system to reach every corner of your face. It has refined blade tech for a close and smoother shave and has a weighted metal handle for added control and comfort. Most importantly for me, Harry's Plus has German engineered blades that are honed at 3 different angles to cut hair cleanly and without razor burn. I may have a beard, but I still need to shave my neck to make sure I don't look like Paul Gasol. And with Harry's, I have never dealt with razor burn, painful bumps, or the kind of nicks and cuts that you get with drugstore blades. If you don't love your shave, Harry's will make it right, no questions asked. There's zero downside to giving it a shot. For a limited time, our listeners get the Harry's Plus trial set for only $10 at harrys.com/F68. This set includes all new Harry's Plus razor, 1 refined 5-blade cartridge, a 2-ounce foamy shave gel, and a travel cover to protect your blades on the go. Just head to harrys.com/F68 and tell them we sent you. This week, grab March by the claw at your favorite bar. White Claw, the official seltzer of the Field of 68 After Dark, is opening a $1 million bar tab for bracket season. Rally your crew, call for a couple of claws, and go to whiteclaw.com/couple of claws to score rebates or a chance at a gift card depending on your state. You must be 21. Rules and restrictions apply. Ends April 6, 2026. Drink responsibly. whiteclaw.com/couple of claws. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois. Today's episode of The Field of 68 is brought to you by Mando. Some men mask their BO with scents. Mando men get the job done right. Mando whole body deodorant was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. You want a solid deodorant stick? Mando's got one formulated and powered by a mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. You like spray bottles? Mando's is aluminum free and ideal for hard to reach places. All Mando products are baking soda and paragon free, and it's safe for anywhere on your body. Pits, balls, thighs, folds, feet, even the grundle. It's perfect for me this time of year. I'm spending 15 hours a day in an arena that hasn't had the AC turned on yet. If I didn't have Mando products, I might smell like the guy sitting next to me on press row, because Mando is clinically proven to control odor better than Old Spice. Want to try America's #1 whole body deodorant formula right now? You can find it in Walmart and Target and other retailers across the country. But for the best deals, go to shopmando.com and use code F68 for 20% off at checkout. March Madness is here, and you know what that means. It's a time of excitement and a time when legends are forged. In other words, it's a time to wear chubby. Skies out, thighs out, baby. It's getting warmer. The clock's moved up an hour, and it's time for Chubbies. Chubbies was founded in 2011 by a group of friends with a simple mission: rid closets of uncomfortable clothes and put the fun back in functional fits. They set out to create shorts, trunks, and polos that put personality back into your wardrobe with fits that look good and feel even better. Chubby shorts aren't just insanely comfortable. They're built with premium fabrics that are quick drying, wrinkle resistant, and antimicrobial. Chubbies keeps you comfy, casual, and dangerously confident. For a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners a 20% off discount with code F68 at chubbiesshorts.com. That's 20% off your order with code F68. Give your thighs the VIP treatment that they deserve. Support our show and tell them we sent you.
Welcome back to the Field of 68 live from Tom's Watch Bar. We're going to be here for about another 90 minutes. And guys, sometimes prayers are answered. We got rid of the Illinois guy off the set, and we got some Yukon representation on here. Josh Mullins, Braylon Mullins' father, is here with us, and also his high school coach. So I want to start with this. You taught him how to shoot from 40 feet, right? Was that all you? Can we credit you?
I want to say that's how that happened. But yeah, no, I mean, it's just something we did when we were younger, and it's an Indiana thing, man.
Yeah. Take me through that moment of kind of watching that comeback and watching that shot and that moment when the ball is in the air. Like I've always loved the moment, like a buzzer beater. It's in the air, and there's just like everything gets silent, and you're just waiting to see if the shot's going to end up going in. What is going through your mind? What is that moment like for a dad watching their kid?
Well, that was exactly how it happened. Was that we're sitting there. My wife wouldn't watch. She put her head in her lap, and I'm like, "What?" He shot it.
She missed it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I was like, "That's good." As soon as he shot it, I knew when they let him walk into the three. I was like, "That's good." But then it took 10 minutes, it seemed like, to get there. Like, please get there. And then it went in, and then obviously everybody erupted.
How do you even like celebrate that as a family? I mean, it is. I did a list. I think was it this morning that I put it together out in the airport of like the 10 best, most memorable shots, and it's on there in NCAA tournament history. How do you celebrate that with him? What was the post game like?
I don't know how we celebrate this now because it's so fresh, but like it's there forever, right? So I told him that, that's always going to be there. We're always going to be able to watch it. I don't even know really what to say to you right now. I said, I cussed a little bit, and I was just like, great.
Well, so did Hurley's mom.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw that.
I did. I seen it.
Dan's mom went nuts on that one too. So
yeah, no, I snuck on the court.
Did you?
Gave him a hug, said, great shot, walked back to my seat.
Were there any were there tears of joy? Like, were there any emotions, you, your wife, your Braylon, when he saw you?
No, he didn't see us for a minute, but I felt like when that happened, we yelled so hard, I was like, I'm about to pass out, and like reached for my knees, and I was like, I just can't believe this just happened. So it was just kind of a shocking moment and surreal at the same time, and we're just happy and proud.
I did the same thing. I did the same thing.
So I mean, you guys seeing the reactions across the country, it was pretty awesome. It's kind of what it was in the stands. Like, did this really just happen?
My favorite moment was the post game interview, and when he cussed live on CBS with Tracy Wolfson. Biggest moment of your life. I'm like, yeah, that shit might go in.
I didn't even see it. What did he say?
I think he just said I think that shit's going in, something like that.
Kids can do that. They watch Anthony Edwards post games enough. They know they can say whatever they want now.
Well, he's keeping company up there at Yukon. That's kind of how things roll. I got to ask you too, because obviously a big shot, but played for his dad, going to Dan Hurley. How was that adjustment? Because the vibes are a little different there. I mean, I'm sure you were hard on your kid.
It was.
Right. But at the same time, how did he kind of handle? Was it a culture shock? Because he was always well coached. I saw him play for the Indiana Elite, correct? Like,
yep.
He was always well coached. You could tell, but there's an adjustment period. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was, I was hard on. Maybe not what he was going to see there, but it prepared him for it. So
sure.
that when he got there, it wasn't a shock of like, oh wow, what's going on? That's just something how I coached him. I coached him hard. I was raised in the 80s, and that's how you were coached. And I know it's a little bit different now on how you coach kids, but, I was always hard on him. I was like, this is how we do things. We put discipline and structure in his life, and that's kind of how it was. I think Coach Hurley does the same thing in his staff. And, Braylon thinks it's funny. He was just like, yeah, man, he's a funny coach. Yeah, he was just like, he's funny. So.
When did you think he was himself coming off the injury? From the start, how was navigating the injury, and when did you feel like, he got back to being himself?
Well, I think it really set him back. I don't know that I don't think he still has his explosiveness right now, but I think it was probably 6 or 7 games in. I felt like he was getting his legs back. I think it was the second game of Kansas where he had the 17 points. They weren't even going to play him that much. They're like, hey, we're only going to play him 15, 17 minutes. And he's like, I had to play him 23 just because he was hitting shots. But I think it's bothered him all year, to be honest. And I think that explosiveness has really hurt him. Everybody's like, hey, he's a shooter. And then, he used to be able to get to the bucket.
Because I wonder about the running around. People don't realize, if you're not paying attention to it on TV, how much running he does or he has to do to get the shot.
Yeah.
And for a kid that we've seen all of his life shoot at a high clip, his percentages have been great. Has that been the adjustment for him? The conditioning, the lack of being healthy is part of why his percentages aren't great?
Well, I think that, that was a lot of it too. Plus, it's hard, right?
Yeah, it is.
College basketball, Division I's hard. So I think that he realized that, I'm running around, I'm tired from that. And then they're beating me up, holding me, pulling me, and all this other stuff. And I think that's been a real big adjustment for him to try to figure that out. He's learning how to create space to keep people off of him. But I think that injury kind of set that back a little bit. But I do still love how he keeps moving and doesn't sit still. And Hurley would be like, hey, would you quit getting into my play? You're cutting into my plays. And he's like, Coach, that's all I know. I know how to cut. That's just me. I think he's did a great job with it, of the adjustment this year.
So he had a bad high school coach.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Maybe I actually think it was his head coach. It wasn't me.
When did you realize, he said, when did he feel like he was back to him? When did you realize he could be as good as he is? At what age did you say, well, this kid's got a chance?
Theo, be honest about why you're asking.
I'm asking it.
Well,
I have children too.
I feel like, when me and my wife always talks, because she's like, I don't know how you see that, how you know. I was like, I played basketball and watched it so enough. But at 5th and 6th grade, I could tell he was so skilled, with the spin moves or going between the legs. You could see all that, and you'd be like, well, when he gets older and he matures, gets bigger and stronger, all that's going to come into play and add up. So, but you don't know, if a kid's going to be 6'6" and 200 pounds and athleticism and all that, but you can see the skill level when they're younger.
Right.
You made T.O. really happy right there. Because
my kid's a pretty good player. I don't know he'll ever be that good, but
you never know.
Pretty good.
You never know.
Yep.
You're carving people up in 10 UAU tournaments.
Yeah.
What during the recruiting process, right? What was it about the Yukon staff to convince an Indiana kid to leave the state and go to Storrs, Connecticut?
Beautiful Storrs, Connecticut.
Beautiful Storrs,
Right. Well,
Is that the best pizza? Was the pizza?
That's the New Haven, RC. That's the New Haven, RC.
It's not the best.
And it is the best pizza.
I think, the way I coached them, I felt like it was similar to the way they coach. Coach Hurley, Coach Murray, Coach Kamani, and all them guys, Nardi. I just felt like they could grab his personality out of him and bring him to who he is right now. Because we all know Braylon's really quiet. He doesn't say a whole lot. I just thought they could pull his game out of him, and I thought they were the best staff for him. And there's a lot of great coaches out there and a lot of great programs. There's no knock against any one, but I just thought they were the best.
Give me your favorite Hurley story so far of dealing with him, of your son playing for him. Give me something that maybe people don't know about Dan Hurley.
I don't think he's just who people think he is. You know what I mean? The guy's genuine. He's real. The stuff he does on TV, Braylon's he's not like that at all, man. He's really good to my kid. Pumps him full of confidence all the time.
That's what people don't see, right?
They don't
he's old school.
Yeah.
He will hold him accountable. Mm-hmm. He will get up into him, but he'll put his arm around him, right?
100%.
Right.
That's just who he is. And, I know you see this. He'll tell you,
he's a maniac.
I'm a monster.
He can be a maniac sometimes.
He's not a monster.
Yeah.
He's
just to the refs occasionally.
Maybe we all don't like refs. I don't know, but he's a good person, man. He really is. If not, I would never send him there. I don't know how else to describe him, but he's treated my son well.
The thing about coaches that coach the way that he does. In practice, like if you're going to be yelling at kids in practice, they have to know that you actually care about them, right? And what people don't see in games or can't hear in games is that he's probably the biggest cheerleader that they have. Like his whole philosophy is, I'm pumping everybody up when you get to the sideline because you have to have confidence when you're in a game. I can break you down in practice, but when the lights are on and people are watching you on TV, you have to be able to have the confidence to make the shot that I'm asking you to make.
And that's what he told us that, in practice, I make it really hard. I yell at him, I scream, I make him run for, they might have did something great, but I make him run. Because he says when they get in the game, when the crowd's yelling at them, saying stuff to them, and things aren't going your way, it's easier in the game because my practices are really hard. I don't know that everybody does that.
What's it like now for you? I mean, Braylon hits that shot, it brings you to Indy. You guys live a half an hour away from here. It couldn't be more of a storybook, but do you worry at all about the pressure now that Braylon faces coming home, friends, family, everybody hitting that shot?
Ticket requests.
Ticket requests.
That's a big one.
Like, what's it like? And is he so even keeled that you really don't worry about him?
I mean, I think that's the answer, that he is even keeled. We don't worry about him. I think he's just been in a lot of these moments before. I mean, go back to Kansas. What environment's like that? An NCAA tournament game. I know the Final Four, the stage is different. I get that. But, like, you play in those environments for this reason, right? So I think that's what's happened this year with him. As far as like ticket requests, people know I'm like, hey, I don't know what to do. We get 6 tickets. So
go somewhere else.
Yeah,
go scalp them.
And from the looks, the ticket prices were pretty steep.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just want to be down here. They want to come and hang out, whether it's at a bar or wherever, and hang out. And I think that's really what they want, just to support Braylon because they all do love him. So.
Well, give us something about Braylon. We hear about John Shire scoring 21 points in 75 seconds, something like that. I'm sure RC scored 100 points in high school. Like, give us something that maybe people don't know about his prep career, because I'm always intrigued by that stuff. Is there anything?
I mean,
he just went for 50 nightly. Is that what this is?
There was a night that he hit a game winner for 51 in a high school game. I think he's done this. It's like his 4th time he's done it.
Is it really?
Hit a big shot. Against good teams or in the moments type stuff. So I wasn't surprised when he hit it, I guess. But I've just seen him make shots like these.
Was that the deepest one though that he's hit?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But that's something I told him we practiced that stuff. We would shoot from the volleyball line all the time. It's like, you need more space, man. You're not going to be able to drive in on 6'11", 7 foot all the time. So create that space.
Keep moving back.
I think he shoots better when he is back instead of 3-point line. We've seen it for the last 8 games.
Well, that's one of the easier shots, too, running straight into it.
That's why the percentages are down, RC. Shooting too close, down back.
Got to back it up.
Well, that's right. But he ran right into that one. It was almost like, run back to half court, sprint in, catch and shoot.
Well, I knew when he gave it to AK, and I seen him like lining himself back up, like he knew he was coming back, and then they let him walk into it. I was like, it's
about as good as it gets.
It is. Because I thought if they would have got a hand on him, touched him, whatever, could have changed the whole trajectory of the ball.
What has this been like? I mean, as a parent, you're sitting there now. What advice would you give to other parents seeing this ride that your son has been on, from avoiding distractions and things like that? Like, what advice would you give parents?
I mean, I don't know. We always just stay the same, man. Keep our circle tight. Keep your head down. There is distractions everywhere. I mean, we all know social media, and that's where most of them are at. Or they're, you're trying to hire trainers or whatever you want to do. We just kept things basic for Braylon, kept him away from a lot of things, and focus was always basketball. Like, there wasn't other things involved in it. I didn't want whatever money. We don't need it. I want you to be better at basketball. I want you to have fun, and and we always say hard work pays off, right? It does. Like, in these moments like this is the reason you did stuff when you're in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade and you hated it. Like, hey, I don't want to do this. I'm 10 years old. Like, I'm preparing you. Like, this is what we're doing.
Did you sleep at all? Because
No.
I didn't sleep at all the night after the game. The adrenaline was flowing. I text Rob afterwards, and he drove back, and Jeff and I stayed after the game. And I text Rob, and that ride was maybe 3 hours for you.
Yeah.
And I text Rob when he was near his house, and I'm sitting in my room, and I'm like, Rob, I got adrenaline in me as if I played, like I was in the game, and I could not sleep that night. It was just the most miserable night, and I can't imagine.
Well, because of how the game went too.
You thought it was over. You thought they was losing this game.
For sure. Like what were we down, 19 or 20?
19.
Like, I looked at her and I was so pissed off. I was like, are we serious? This is how we come out and show this? And then we just kept chipping away and put ourselves in a position. But no, I did not sleep. Our plane left at 8:30. I said, what time do we need to get up? She said 5:30. I looked at the clock one time. I was still on my phone. It was 4:15. I was like, ain't no sense in going to bed now.
No.
Ain't no sense in now. So
Yeah, it got to the point in the first half where we have a group chat for the Field of 68, and all it was just, Rob, it was a good season, man. Oh, your season was over after Marquette. Oh, Rob, what do you got to say? Someone check on Rob. We need a wellness check. How did that go?
I think even Hurley was probably thinking that at some point of like, man, I can't believe we're going to go out this way.
I mean, who didn't? I mean, honestly, like we just, I don't know. It just changed second half, and
He didn't use a timeout in the first half. They were down 19 at one point.
Yeah.
He didn't use a timeout. He didn't even use it to lose the timeout.
I don't know. Things happen for a reason, right?
You would have burned through 3 of them.
I would have called them all and yelled at them every single time I called the timeout. Like, what are we doing?
Hey, so if I'm going to go over tomorrow for the media day stuff and talk to your son, give me something that I can get him going with. Give me something that will,
Just tell him that we're going to go shoot at 6 a.m. at Greenfield, and your dad said we'll meet you there.
All right. He'll probably be there.
He might. I don't know. I tried to get
the
him.
10-year-old version did not want to.
I brought him home at Christmas, and then, he was just chilling at home for 3 or 4 days. And I said, we're going to shoot on Christmas Day. And he was like,
no.
I said, come on, man. Like, we've always done this. Like, I don't care who you are, where you're at. Like, we're going to shoot, me and your brothers. And he came.
He did.
Yeah, he came. Yeah, we always work out on Christmas morning.
I will say, hey, an interesting thing is playing basketball in a football stadium. I did that one time, and I was an okay shooter. But like that's an adjustment. That's an adjustment. That's different.
Well, I look today at just the setup, and I'm like, man, it just looks so small, the court.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, it is. You're going to look back, and then like everything's farther back, and you're just like, people are back there. So
it's a strange deal because they used to have the ACC tournament at the Georgia Dome, back at the old Georgia Dome before they tore it down, and that was a hard adjustment just because everything looks small on the floor and just massive around it. As a shooter, like that's something that he might have to really lock in on.
I hope he just locks in on the rim.
Yeah, he will.
Just lock in on the rim.
We have no doubt.
You're back in the rim, baby.
Yep.
All right. Well, listen. Great coming by, man. Great coming by. Great to meet you. Enjoy it. Like there's nothing better. I assume.
Thank you, guys.
I can't speak to it, but as a father, when your son makes that shot to send you back home and have this here, enjoy it. Soak it in.
Yeah,
I definitely will.
And make sure to tell Braylon that we need to make that guy right there. He needs to be crying. Yeah, he needs to be crying tomorrow night. So yes, you, Trevor. Listen, we're going to hit a break. On the other side, we're going to talk more here about some of the openings here that we have in college basketball. I'm going to make these guys talk about NC State. We're going to do it. It's going to happen, fellas. Next on Field of 68.
Thank you, guys.
As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same-game parlays, best-in-class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app, you sign up using bonus code FIELD, you deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today.
People, they're good. Good for laughs, for snorts, for cries, and goodbyes. People are good for doing nothing or getting up to something. People are good for squad goals and squad. People are good for these kinds of cheers and these kinds of cheers. People are good for you. Jim Beam, best enjoyed together.
Taking care of your mental health shouldn't be harder than taking care of your physical health. If you pull a muscle, you go see a doctor. But when it comes to finding the right therapist, suddenly it's frustrating. You've got long wait lists or you're staring down huge out-of-pocket costs. That's where Rula comes in. Rula makes therapy simple, affordable, and fast. They work with most major insurance providers, and the average session copay is just $15. And with Rula, you're not matched and left to figure it out. They check in and they make sure that you're actually making progress. Every therapist on the platform is licensed, vetted, and picked for their expertise. So you know you're talking to someone legit, not whoever happens to be available. You answer a couple questions and Rula connects you with an in-network provider who actually fits your needs. You can be talking to a therapist as soon as the next day. Thousands of guys have already used Rula to get the care that they need. Don't keep putting it off. Go to rula.com/F68 and get started today. That's RULA.com/F68. Take the first step, get connected, and take control of your mental health. It's 2026. Everything in our world has leveled up. Our phones are supercomputers, your car parks itself, but your razor is still flimsy and overpriced. That's where Harry's Plus comes in. Harry's Plus has an advanced pivoting system to reach every corner of your face. It has refined blade tech for a close and smoother shave and has a weighted metal handle for added control and comfort. Most importantly for me, Harry's Plus has German engineered blades that are honed at 3 different angles to cut hair cleanly and without razor burn. I may have a beard, but I still need to shave my neck to make sure I don't look like Paul Gasol. And with Harry's, I have never dealt with razor burn, painful bumps, or the kind of nicks and cuts that you get with drugstore blades. If you don't love your shave, Harry's will make it right, no questions asked. There's zero downside to giving it a shot. For a limited time, our listeners get the Harry's Plus trial set for only $10 at harrys.com/F68. This set includes all new Harry's Plus razor, 1 refined 5-blade cartridge, a 2-ounce foamy shave gel, and a travel cover to protect your blades on the go. Just head to harrys.com/F68 and tell them we sent you. This week, grab March by the claw at your favorite bar. White Claw, the official seltzer of the Field of 68 After Dark, is opening a $1 million bar tab for bracket season. Rally your crew, call for a couple of claws, and go to whiteclaw.com/couple of claws to score rebates or a chance at a gift card depending on your state. You must be 21. Rules and restrictions apply. Ends April 6, 2026. Drink responsibly. whiteclaw.com/couple of claws. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois. Today's episode of the Field of 68 is brought to you by Mando. Some men mask their BO with sense. Mando men get the job done right. Mando whole body deodorant was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. You want a solid deodorant stick? Mando's got one formulated and powered by a mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. You like spray bottles? Mando's is aluminum free and ideal for hard to reach places. All Mando products are baking soda and paragon free, and it's safe for anywhere on your body. Pits, balls, thighs, folds, feet, even the grundle. It's perfect for me this time of year. I'm spending 15 hours a day in an arena that hasn't had the AC turned on yet. If I didn't have Mando products, I might smell like the guy sitting next to me on press row, because Mando is clinically proven to control odor better than Old Spice. Want to try America's #1 whole body deodorant formula right now? You can find it in Walmart and Target and other retailers across the country. But for the best deals, go to shopmando.com and use code F68 for 20% off at checkout. March Madness is here, and you know what that means. It's a time of excitement and a time when legends are forged. In other words, it's a time to wear chubby. Skies out, thighs out, baby. It's getting warmer. The clock's moved up an hour, and it's time for Chubbies. Chubbies was founded in 2011 by a group of friends with a simple mission: rid closets of uncomfortable clothes and put the fun back in functional fits. They set out to create shorts, trunks, and polos that put personality back into your wardrobe with fits that look good and feel even better. Chubby shorts aren't just insanely comfortable. They're built with premium fabrics that are quick drying, wrinkle resistant, and antimicrobial. Chubbies keeps you comfy, casual, and dangerously confident. For a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners a 20% off discount with code F68 at chubbiesshorts.com. That's 20% off your order with code F68. Give your thighs the VIP treatment that they deserve. Support our show and tell them we sent you.
68 live from Tom's Watch Bar here in downtown Indianapolis. Come down and hang out with us. We'll be here 12 to 3 tomorrow, 2 to 5 on Friday, and then on Sunday 4 until 7, doing live shows, doing live broadcasts, having guests on. Appreciate
this is a hell of a place, by the way.
Right.
Like a great spot. We've had some good spots over the years. This one ranks up there towards the top. This is elite.
You want to know why? You want to know why I like it?
Why?
They deliver us Jim Beam and White Claw.
That's true. They did do that.
I'm not complaining about that. White Claw, the official seltzer of Field of 68's Final Four coverage.
Big fan.
Yep.
Can I get a bigger chair? I mean, I'm kind of looking at this right here. I mean,
We all have the same
I don't.
size
No,
chair,
I don't. I'm 6'2", and it just doesn't look like that on
No,
TV.
not tonight.
Oh.
Not tonight. Not tonight. Not tonight. All right, I wanted to roll
Somebody
through
get
the
Norma Booster.
I wanted to roll through the coaching carousel a little bit here and talk about. So we spent about 30 minutes talking about the North Carolina job and Tommy Lloyd previously. So let's talk about some of these other high major openings that are available. I want to start our CTO, our ACC guys, Justin Gainey. One of their own, going back to NC State after Will Wade left. Before we talk about the Will Wade angle of this, T.O., Justin Gainey's hire. Does that fit? Does that work? Will that satiate?
Well, it's a guy coming home. I think that's the first thing that you want to talk about when you talk about Justin Gainey. It's a guy who's coming back to NC State. And guys, to be honest with you, it's time for him to get a head coaching job. He's been a high-level assistant at Marquette, Arizona. He's been under Rick Barnes at Tennessee for a number of years since 2021. This is a guy, in my opinion, who was ready for the opportunity. He gets to go back to his alma mater. He falls into a situation where I think he could win. And I'm excited for him. I'm excited for Wolfpack family. They get one of their own, and a guy who wants to be there. So Justin Gainey deserved this opportunity. I'm glad he got it.
I agree with you. The only concern that I had nothing to do with him and his qualifications. I think he can do a hell of a job. Yeah. It was Norm. You know how this goes. They were going after Schultz, and you knew what it was going to take, Josh Schultz, and you knew it was going to take a lot of money to get him. Are you going to give Gainey that same financial resource? Or are you going to say he's a first-time head coach and not give him that? That was the only concern. And that's not for him. That's more about NC State, because we know Keats didn't have that type of financial support. Will Wade comes in, you give him that much money to start. That should be the starting point, if not more, if you really want to be successful. That's what I'm hoping for him. And I don't know the answer to that question. We'll know at some point when I talk to him. But that's where I want to see it, from a AD and from a university standpoint. Are you going to give him the resources that you gave Will Wade, pretty much more, to keep him there? Or are you just going to say, hey, we bring one of our own home and give him the discount?
And not just for 1 year.
Yeah.
Like, that's the big thing. I think a lot of ADs and athletic departments, they get fired up for 1 year, and then it starts to tailor off a little bit. Are you going to give him consistent funding? That's really what it comes down to.
I think they will. I would assume they would, because, if you don't, the AD's probably already dealing with some backlash on hiring Will Wade.
He didn't want to hire him. He didn't want to hire Will Wade.
But then he leaves right away. So now you're going at it again and trying to get a coach. So I think they're going to give him everything he needs to be successful. And they need to, because in this day and age, if you don't give that person the chance to really win, they've got no chance at all. You know that. So I would think they'll give him what he needs. I think he'll do a great job there. I think he's going to do what they did at Tennessee. Tennessee would not, they would recruit the top guys. I mean, they got a mint this year, and that's terrific. But they did a great job of looking at talent, evaluating talent, and bringing it in, and those guys growing and getting better. I would imagine he'll try to do the same thing at State.
Say it, Jeff.
Go ahead, Goodman.
Say it, Jeff. He got that look on his face.
He's got the
look on his face.
I just think they took the easy way out here. They felt completely, it was like Benedict Arnold, right? That's what they got with Will Wade. Mm-hmm. And they felt like, all right, now we're just going to go the easy way out and we're going to hire one of our own. And Justin Gainey, yes, his credentials are there, but he's not Will Wade or anything like Will Wade in terms of what does the NC State fan base want? They want somebody with fire. They don't want Herb Sendek again. And that's what I think they got with Justin Gainey. I think and I like Herb.
Herb was pretty good.
He went to 5 straight tournaments, and what did they do? They ran him out. Now, again, Gainey's one of their own. I get it, but I think they want fire. And I think right now, the Chris Cortianis and the Rodney Monroes and all those guys are just saying, man, we got screwed by this guy, Will Wade. We just want somebody who's never going to leave. Instead of saying, like, no, we want the best coach, which is Josh Schertz, and we'll pay for it. We'll pay for it. I think Schertz would have done it if they had really stepped up. And I think instead you got an assistant coach who's never coached a game, and you only did it because he went to school there.
But if I had to push back on it and say I can make the argument against Schertz, and I think he's a hell of a coach. Yeah. But my question is going to be with him is going to be, all right, how good is he going to be when Robbie Alba leaves?
I mean,
because it's like saying the same thing we're going to talk about with Ben McCallum.
You got before he had Robbie Alba. I know it's not Division One.
I'm only being just flipping the other side of the coin, just saying if I had to be, just nitpicking. Yeah. Obviously, we've been around him enough. I think he's a stud. But that's part of it too. Both things can be right. I mean, Gainey's track record shows he's qualified to be successful in this. And if you give him the resource, that's why my only thing about it is
it's a big jump. Like you don't see a lot of those.
But Jeff, it's not that big for him when he's been there. That's like me going back to Wake Forest. It's a jump for what? For who? I've been there.
You were a star at Wake. But the pressure that comes along with this job is not what he had as a player. He wasn't their star. He wasn't their second best player.
But I'm only saying it to say, forget the player. I'm saying he understands that. He understands that. You don't have to be a star to understand the pressure. And he understands that. And I think if you give him the resources, that was my only thing, because the money you were going to have to get Schertz out of St. Louis, so you're going to have to spend.
And that's only why $5 million, plus you're going to have to pay him $4 million a year. So you're right. So if you devote that money, and
that's what I'm saying.
Money, and give him $15 million in NIL, I'm all in. I'm all in, because that's ultimately the most important thing. And he better hire a hell of a staff. He better hire somebody in his. Better hire Norm Roberts.
No. I think, but
Norm already sent his application in.
Norm's out. Norm's out. I would tell you this.
Norm,
I think he's more fiery.
You may not be out if he gave you $1 million.
Hey,
okay, we could talk.
The 5-year deal puts a lot of energy on me. I can show my true personality when I got more years of my contract. So you say, like Rob gives me a 5-year deal for Field of 68. I'm gonna show my ass. I'm really gonna show you what I do.
You already do.
You already do.
A 5-year deal.
It's just once the microphone goes like this. It's like that. That's when RC turns on.
Go ahead.
I think Gainey is more fiery than you think.
Okay.
I think he's been around. Now, this is what people forget. All these guys that are great coaches, they were assistants at one time. But they had to learn
assistant to low or mid-major head coach.
But he's been at high major places. He's seen what's been done right, what's been done wrong. Now he's going to have a chance to run his own program. I think there's a lot to be said for a guy that wants to be there, that knows the place, that feels the love of the place.
A pride.
Because obviously, Will Wade didn't feel that. He didn't feel the love of the Wolfpack.
I mean, Patrick Ewing had a lot of pride in Georgetown. How'd that go? Chris Mullen had a lot of pride in St. John's.
Hold on, you're going
NBA guys. Those are NBA guys. Those are NBA guys. No, we didn't say that.
So I think it could be a great hire if obviously he gets the resources.
Get the money.
And there's got to be a little patience involved. I know that's a bad word, and that's stuff to build up, because let's be honest now. It wasn't like Will Wade killed it. He didn't kill it there.
No, he did.
A big call. A big call came through. So I think he'll do well.
I'm in agreement. I think he has a legit shot of being able to win games. And not only that, even on the low end at NC State, say they give him $8 million NIL as opposed to $15 million, which is astronomical. Say they give him $8 million, you're still in better than the top half of the ACC.
Exactly. Yep.
So, he's going to have a chance to win. I do think they need to obviously give my man some money, because he didn't have a buyout. He was able to set himself up. What kind of financial support are they going to give him? I would venture to guess that probably that 10 to 12 mark, and I think you can make the NCAA tournament. And that's not a drop-off at all.
I hope. And that's why I stick to that. I hope he gets that, because to get a guy like Schultz, you had to do it. You had to do that to get him out. So those resources that you had for him to tell you no, If you put those resources behind him, he'll be successful.
Let me tell you, everybody says this. If they have 10 or 12 million, that's an NCAA tournament team. Should be, okay?
Should be a top 5 seed.
I would tell you this. Saban, I believe, is the one who said this.
Yeah.
You can have 10 to 12 million.
You pay the wrong
You pay the wrong dudes. You're not making it.
But that's part of that. That's part of what we talked about that happened with with Will Wade there.
I believe the quote was, "You pay the wrong guys, you're shit out of luck."
That's exactly what he said.
I think that was the quote. No, but that's what happened this year with Will, quite frankly. Paid the wrong guys. And he paid the guy that they expected to be the guy at NC State.
The main guy.
And man, you want to talk about a flop.
He went from preseason player of the year to not making any team.
That portal is a crapshoot. I'm telling you, it's a crapshoot. It's like you're going to Vegas. You're rolling them dice right there. You're not sure who's going to translate, who's going to be able to do
the ones the most successful teams are the ones who did a really good job in the portal.
Yeah.
You cannot miss. You cannot miss in the portal and survive unless you have $10-12 million, and then you can miss, and then I still have enough quality in my roster.
That's a good point.
To be able to do it.
Yep.
That's where the money allows you. It allows you not to have to be perfect.
But it depends on what your expectations are, because NC State missed
It's tournament. It's tournament. If you spend $10-12 million on a roster, Rob, well, I'm expecting you to get into the tournament. I think that's fair.
It's a playing game. Is that if you spent $12 million on your roster, or $11 million, whatever it was for NC State,
they underachieved.
No,
this year.
I think they collapsed at the end. At one point in time, this team was rolling along, but when we hit late February, mid-February down, they struggled mightily. And that's
Will
where
Wade was on the phone with LSU the whole time, the entire month of February.
Because again, when you miss on your guy, that's when it shows up. So they didn't have their guy when it mattered to be able to be like, hey, let me lean on you a little bit. You know, their preseason player of the year wasn't that guy. He was their multi-million-dollar player, and it didn't work out for him. And so they struggled down the stretch, not having missed on that guy.
This is what coaches have to think about. Let's say I got $5 million. Do I go get so-called great player and pay him $5 million? Or do I say, let's go get 3 guys that are going to be hungry and play their tails off? You've got to make a decision how you're going to do that.
Can we use an example of that? Let's go Miami. Jay Lucas.
Do you go Brownell or do you go?
I think he's a stud.
Yeah.
Right? We all agree. Jay Lucas, I think, he's a stud in this league.
Yes, he is.
Could ill afford an injury with that roster he had because of the lack of depth. Will we all agree to that?
Agreed.
One injury, Miami is not in the tournament. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the difference of how you go about it. Like, and they didn't have a deep team. He went out and got his Renews. He went out and got his Donaldsons. He went out and got Ernest. Uday. He got his guys and a couple of freshmen he added in. My question to that is, again, if you go that route and one of those guys go down, because if they miss any one of them, they're not in the tournament.
Think about the teams that are in the Final Four. Every single one of the teams that are in the Final Four right now can go at least 9 deep.
Yep.
They can go 9 deep. They've got enough guys that can, pick up the slack when the star's not playing great, and they distributed their money well. They did it well, and that's why those teams are successful. If you put your money all loaded up in one position or one guy, that's going to hurt you when you're trying to get number 3, number 4, and number 5.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's not just portal, right? If you look at Arizona, the way that they built their roster was they brought back Jaden Bradley and Del Orso and Krivas and went out and got 3 freshmen around them. And Charkankakov, Koa Pete, and Braden Burries. You look at what UConn did, right? UConn brought in a couple of really high-level freshmen. They brought in a couple of very pointed transfers that they knew could play a very specific role for them. And the core of it is retention and turnover. Yes. And Terrace Reed is back, who was a portal guy. And Solo Ball and Jalen Stewart and Jaden Ross are back. You look at what Illinois has done, it's the same kind of thing. Like, Tommy's there, Kylan Boswell's there. They brought in Big Z in the portal. They went to Europe and they brought a bunch of guys in. And they got kind of lucky with Keaton Wagler. Like, let's be honest. Like, I don't think anyone saw Keaton Wagler being what Keaton Wagler was.
But they still evaluated a good player.
But it's to me, it's about retention and talent identification. Like, you could say we need all of this money. Like, to me, the more important thing is having somebody on your staff that, and tell me if you think this is great, because you've been in this. Someone on your staff that just spends the entire year doing nothing but watching stuff on Synergy, watch 2 or 3 games from every team in every league and figure out who are the guys that will have the opportunity to transfer up. Get to know those leagues. Get to know those conferences on your own. Know Europe. Know that level. The talent identification, the evaluation, I think is more important than ever now, because it's a 1-year thing. You don't have if you miss on a freshman, you could probably still find a way to be able to develop them over 4 years. You miss on a transfer, you're not developing the kid in 9 months. It's not going to happen.
No, can I ask you a question that you got insight on? And if you're not comfortable doing this, that's fine. But I don't think it's that difficult of a question in the sense of.
That's how you know it's going to be a tough question.
No. It is. I'm preferencing him. He doesn't have to answer it, but it'll be tough in the sense of this. And this is just my point of view. How does certain programs, blue bloods, like the one you just came from, I don't have to question, and we don't have to preference how great a coach Bill Self is. We know what he is. A lot of coaches struggled adjusting to the portal and everything that comes into it. They didn't have to because they had so much success. And they were late, a la Carolina, with general manager. Kansas, from my understanding, doesn't have a general manager. No. Kentucky doesn't have a general manager. And these are they just get, and that's my point. Mm-hmm. They're late to the party. It's not like most teams are doing this. Is there a reason why? One, and do you see that changing in the future?
I don't know if that'll change in the future. This is what I get. General manager. Is the general manager, I'm just asking, is the general manager evaluating the players, or is the general manager just trying to get the money lined up the right way?
Or is he bringing the players to the coaches, like these are the guys that we can afford?
But that's the difference in what you hire in, and that's to your point. I think that's what you hire, right? Do you hire a guy like, okay, I can hire you to be my general manager, right? I'm not asking you to negotiate contracts. I'm saying, because every position in every school is different. So if I'm Bill, I might say, hey, Norm, I want you to come back. I want you to be able to go out. You know what I want. You know what we like here. I want you to be my general manager, meaning we have someone evaluating kids. Do your due diligence. Can that kid compete? Will he fit and play for me?
I would tell you this. This is what I think college basketball has come down to. There's no longer recruiting.
No.
Recruiting's over. That doesn't happen anymore.
How much?
It's evaluate. Is he good enough? Can he help us? Does he have the skill set we need? Is he tough enough? All that stuff. Okay. And then it's negotiate. It's evaluate and negotiate. So I think there's a lot of guys in every program in the country, they can evaluate and say, hey, that guy's really good. We'd like to have him. Now it's the negotiation piece that comes into play.
I actually thought that's where Mark Pope struggled this year at Kentucky. I thought he overpaid for a lot of guys, and now they're now they're having to deal with the backlash of all that. Because I think, to your point, Coach, like, you know, the negotiation piece is something. Maybe Mark Pope goes up and says, "These are the guys I want." Somebody else needs to handle the monetary piece as opposed to getting pushback.
But will that change the cost? That's not going to change the cost.
Change the cost.
It's not going to change the cost, because this is what happens. They look at Kentucky or Kansas, and everybody assumes they got money. So right away they're going to highball you.
Yep.
They're going to highball you, and your job is to get the best players you possibly can. So you don't want to lose out on the guy. So you want to get him. So you're going to end up getting to that cost or whatever it may be. The problem is the portal's going to open up here soon. You got 15 days. How can I really judge your character in 15 days? I can watch a ton of tape on you. I can go off and talk to a million coaches, because this is what happened with coaches. And this is being true, guys. If I call you and I say, how good is Johnny? You're going to say to me, oh, he's good. He's terrific. Well, why is he leaving your place? Maybe we played him a little bit out of position, whatever. But you're going to give me a glaring assessment evaluation of him. And the reason why you're doing that is because whoever his agent is, you're not going to want to piss off his agent by saying, no, he's not as good. I don't think he's his stuff. You're not going to say anything bad. So when you don't say anything bad, I'm taking that information and say, Coach, man, I talked to 3 coaches, man. They said this guy, perfect match for us. And the reason why those people aren't going to say bad things is because if you piss off that agent, the next 2 or 3 guys down the line, you ain't even going to be involved with. Not going to get them. It's a very, very tough situation.
I guess that's why I'm sitting next to you, because my motto was, I'm not lying for you. Whatever you do, I'm just telling the truth. So as long as we all on board, my motto was, I'm not lying for you.
Just think about it. Back in the day, we would recruit a kid for $8 a year, 2 years. So you can see good, bad, baby, not a baby, growing up.
But that's my point where I was going before, Norm, is that that's where the general manager comes into play. Like I've talked to different people about to travel and everything about that, and we'll get into that afterwards, Rob, when we get back from the break.
Yeah, we're going to. Oh, look at that. Host RC just threw it to break.
Wow, I like that.
We have a lot more to get to.
He's a seasoned vet.
We may even have some breaking news here on the Field of 68 coming up next.
As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same-game parlays, best-in-class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app. You sign up using bonus code FIELD. You deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today.
People, they're good. Good for laughs, for snorts, for cries, and goodbyes. People are good for doing nothing or getting up to something. People are good for squad goals and squad. People are good for these kinds of cheers and these kinds of cheers. People are good for you. Jim Beam, best enjoyed together.
Taking care of your mental health shouldn't be harder than taking care of your physical health. If you pull a muscle, you go see a doctor. But when it comes to finding the right therapist, suddenly it's frustrating. You've got long wait lists or you're staring down huge out-of-pocket costs. That's where Rula comes in. Rula makes therapy simple, affordable, and fast. They work with most major insurance providers, and the average session copay is just $15. And with Rula, you're not matched and left to figure it out. They check in and they make sure that you're actually making progress. Every therapist on the platform is licensed, vetted, and picked for their expertise. So you know you're talking to someone legit, not whoever happens to be available. You answer a couple questions and Rula connects you with an in-network provider who actually fits your needs. You can be talking to a therapist as soon as the next day. Thousands of guys have already used Rula to get the care that they need. Don't keep putting it off. Go to rula.com/F68 and get started today. That's RULA.com/F68. Take the first step, get connected, and take control of your mental health. It's 2026. Everything in our world has leveled up. Our phones are supercomputers, your car parks itself, but your razor is still flimsy and overpriced. That's where Harry's Plus comes in. Harry's Plus has an advanced pivoting system to reach every corner of your face. It has refined blade tech for a close and smoother shave and has a weighted metal handle for added control and comfort. Most importantly for me, Harry's Plus has German-engineered blades that are honed at 3 different angles to cut hair cleanly and without razor burn. I may have a beard, but I still need to shave my neck to make sure I don't look like Paul Gasol. And with Harry's, I have never dealt with razor burn, painful bumps, or the kind of nicks and cuts that you get with drugstore blades. If you don't love your shave, Harry's will make it right, no questions asked. There's zero downside to giving it a shot. For a limited time, our listeners get the Harry's Plus trial set for only $10 at harrys.com/F68. This set includes all new Harry's Plus razor, 1 refined 5-blade cartridge, a 2-ounce foaming shave gel, and a travel cover to protect your blades on the go. Just head to harrys.com/F68 and tell them we sent you. This week, grab March by the claw at your favorite bar. White Claw, the official seltzer of the Field of 68 After Dark, is opening a $1 million bar tab for bracket season. Rally your crew, call for a couple of claws, and go to whiteclaw.com/couple of claws to score rebates or a chance at a gift card depending on your state. You must be 21. Rules and restrictions apply. Ends April 6, 2026. Drink responsibly. whiteclaw.com/couple of claws. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois. Today's episode of The Field of 68 is brought to you by Mando. Some men mask their BO with sense. Mando men get the job done right. Mando whole body deodorant was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. You want a solid deodorant stick? Mando's got one formulated and powered by a mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. You like spray bottles? Mando's is aluminum free and ideal for hard to reach places. All Mando products are baking soda and paragon free, and it's safe for anywhere on your body. Pits, balls, thighs, folds, feet, even the grundle. It's perfect for me this time of year. I'm spending 15 hours a day in an arena that hasn't had the AC turned on yet. If I didn't have Mando products, I might smell like the guy sitting next to me on press row, because Mando is clinically proven to control odor better than Old Spice. Want to try America's #1 whole body deodorant formula right now? You can find it in Walmart and Target and other retailers across the country. But for the best deals, go to shopmando.com and use code F68 for 20% off at checkout. March Madness is here, and you know what that means. It's a time of excitement and a time when legends are forged. In other words, it's a time to wear chubby. Skies out, thighs out, baby. It's getting warmer. The clock's moved up an hour, and it's time for Chubbies. Chubbies was founded in 2011 by a group of friends with a simple mission: rid closets of uncomfortable clothes and put the fun back in functional fits. They set out to create shorts, trunks, and polos that put personality back into your wardrobe with fits that look good and feel even better. Chubby shorts aren't just insanely comfortable. They're built with premium fabrics that are quick drying, wrinkle resistant, and antimicrobial. Chubbies keeps you comfy, casual, and dangerously confident. For a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners a 20% off discount with code F68 at chubbiesshorts.com. That's 20% off your order with code F68. Give your thighs the VIP treatment that they deserve. Support our show and tell them we sent you.
Welcome to the Field of 68. We are back and we're live here at Tom's Watch Bar. We're going to be here until about 7 o'clock. Then we're going to be hanging out here 8 to 10. Going to have a couple beverages, maybe a couple appetizers, a couple snacks. We have Doug Gottlieb here. Can I call you the host of the All Ball podcast still? Or you
come wherever you want. Just don't come in late for dinner.
There you go. You're on time. You're on time for the show. You're on time for dinner. I want to kind of roll through some more of the coaching carousel.
Can you first congratulate him?
Can we congratulate Doug on his year? What a
Great year,
turnaround.
Doug.
Great year.
I mean, he comes here.
Great job.
Yeah, you know what?
Thank you.
Skip right past my guy.
Thank you.
He was here like crying last year.
Oh, I
after
just
his first
wanted to.
And now
no one wanted me on their podcast.
nobody. We were the only ones who would take you.
You know how it works, Coach. Like usually, I didn't get to experience that first Final Four when you get a job, which is frustrating because everybody wants a job. And I got a player for you, and everybody's got a resume. But it's also kind of a glorious kind of walk of fame type thing because, hey, you got your first job. Instead, I get the job in like late May. We have injuries. We stink, right? And so now my first Final Four as a head coach is like, hey, don't worry about it, Coach. Second year bounce, Coach. Second year. Like, they're talking me up.
You want a game?
Yeah, oh yeah. Everybody wanted to play last year. Nobody wants to play this year. 0 people want to play this year. So, but thank you.
Congrats.
It was really rewarding, and I mean, I learned a lot, and now I got to do it again. That's only better.
That's right.
What was the big adjustment from year 1 to year 2 in your mind? Because that's always a big jump.
I changed my staff. Some out of necessity, some out of those guys got other opportunities.
Sure.
And the idea is you got to know what you need. And I know that I had all in my mind, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but you have to teach. You have to teach. You have to have expert teachers. And I hired 2 expert teachers and a third coach who just got a head coaching job in Division II. And they're great teachers. They poured in. And, I always thought I want my players to be so prepared that they know everything that's coming so they can just go play.
Sure.
And I thought we failed them in the first year, and I thought we succeeded in the second year in that they never walked out in the court going like, man, Coach didn't tell us about any of this stuff. We really prepared them. So I think there's a lot of little things that you learn, but you're only as good as your surrounding people who are around you.
Right.
And my staff was unbelievable, and they made me look like I knew what I was doing. So, which is what you guys do with Jeff. Right?
Yeah.
When he's by himself,
Yes.
he's a 4-28 guy. When he's with you guys,
They had a lot of home run hires, is what you're saying.
No question. No question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Being
You know what happens too, Doug? I think your second year, going into it, you're more relaxed. You know more what you want. The players maybe know more what to expect from you, and it makes the process a lot easier.
Yeah, I thought that's accurate. I think retention is a huge element to it, and we're struggling with it right now, which is like there's some guys that we thought maybe underperform, maybe don't totally fit, but this is their floor. Right? They're only going to get better. And the players, I started 4 players this year that started their careers as walk-ons. 2 of them were walk-ons for me last year. But they improved by leaps and bounds. So we do know what we're doing in terms of our player development. And then when you retain, you can get some of that. But I wasn't relaxed, Norm. I wasn't. I was so uptight those first 5 or 6 games. And so were a couple of my returners because we just had PTSD. We lost so many close games. And we're getting ready to play Minnesota, and right in front of the team, I had the 2 best returners stand up, and I said, hey, look, last year's over. This is 2025, 2026. Get rid of it. It's over. This is a new team, and we changed a couple things in the lineup, changed a couple things in coverage, and we started to play good basketball. So it sounds, then once you start winning, now you're like, okay, you're relaxed, and then when you lose, you never think you're going to win again. That's kind of the problem with being a coach.
All right, what do you want to go?
Well, I want to we can get to the carousel. You talked about home run hires. Norm, who was your biggest home run hire at the high major ranks?
I think you're talking about Randy Bennett at Arizona State. You're talking about a proven winner, a guy that has a proven system. He knows how he wants to recruit. He knows the players he wants to recruit. Obviously, he's going to have more money, so he'll have more opportunity to get some even higher level guys. But he's a guy that knows how to win on a large scale, that can go deep into the tournament. That's probably the best hire.
And he's done it at a place where it wasn't a great job when he got there. And I don't know how many people would say Arizona State was a great job.
When he took over to St. Mary's, they won 2 games the year before he got there.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I agree with Norm. I think it was the best hire of the cycle because I didn't think Arizona State could get Randy Bennett. You know, I think it was the right spot for him. You know, he's always had interest in it because he grew up around it. You know, so I think it fit, but it gives him somebody that, again, can recruit differently. I mean, if you bring any of his St. Mary's teams over, talent-wise, they're tournament teams, I think, in the Big 12.
I would agree. They're
not going to Final Four, but just get them to the tournament, 3-4 straight years. I mean, look at what he did going up against Gonzaga. They finished tied for first or won the outright 4 straight years in the West Coast Conference.
Now, the one thing that I will say, it will be a different style in some ways of what he goes up against every night.
100%.
Being in the Big 12, I mean, you're going against monsters every single night rather than 2 or 3 times in the league they were in. So it'll be different that way, but if anybody can do it.
You asked me what I learned, and what I learned is it doesn't matter what style you play. You have to win these 3 key areas, right? You got to rebound the ball, you got to guard the ball, and you got to value the ball. You got to not turn it over.
Yep.
And obviously, they played at a slower pace. And anybody says you can't play at a slow pace and win in a high major league, I give you Ben McCullum at Iowa, right? It's easier to slow a game down than speed it up.
Or Tony Bennett.
Right, and Tony Bennett, Virginia, and at Wazoo went to a Sweet 16. And I love that he brought back Rick Croy. Obviously, there's a lot of reasons why he left CBU. But Rick Croy had been his associate head coach, so he and Joe Rahan as co-associate head coaches. They got a great staff. They know what they want. I don't know how many, this is like the 3rd Arizona State hire that everybody thought it would be Randy Bennett, and it finally is Randy Bennett.
Sure.
But I would go with Casey Alexander.
Yes,
me too. At Kansas State.
Me too.
Really?
Well, I mean, again, K-State got caught up in that, we're just going to outspend people, bye. And the Valley is really good. And they did not play with older players in the Valley. Lundblade obviously he got an additional year, and he was the MVP of the league. But they're playing with freshmen and sophomores, and they win the Valley outright. I think he's an outstanding coach. I think now you pour in the resources that he has at Kansas State.
You know what he does better than just about anybody, Doug? The evaluation part of it.
Well, Norm was talking about it before. He's talking about who you call.
Tyler.
You have to evaluate.
Tyler Lundblade. Go.
Lundblade. All right, there we go. The news that we've been waiting for here, and we'll get some reaction from the guy down at the end. Bill Self, Kansas coach Bill Self, has announced he will come back for at least one more season. Norm will expand on this, but Bill had been deciding and debating whether he would come back because of health reasons for the last probably week or so. Went back to Dallas, met with his family, talked about it. And I know Bill didn't want to go out. He didn't want to go out. You know this. But he had to get the blessing of his family and the doctors and the medical personnel to be able to feel pretty secure about that this is the right decision for him.
Yeah, I think he got together with his family like he said he was going to do, talk with them extensively, obviously his wife and his 2 children and grandchildren. And then I think talking to the doctors too, I think made him feel comfortable in his decision. And the other thing is that dude's a fighter. That dude's a winner. That dude is a competitor. He wants to be out there. I know he didn't want to leave on what happened, even though it's a great play by St. John's. They made a great shot, but I know he wanted to keep on coaching. The guy loves coaching. It's in his blood. He's done it for so long. They're going to have a good team next year. Now they got to obviously add some pieces, retain some guys, as we were talking about before, and they'll do that. But I think they're going to be very good next year, and I think he's excited about getting back to business.
I think the big thing for Bill Self was he's competitive, and he didn't want to end like that, especially with all the hoopla that was around the program about certain guys playing and certain guys not playing. I think it got back to, I'm going to be competitive. I want to come back. I want to compete for the Big 12. I want to compete for a national title. That's really what it comes down to. That's why guys can't let go. I think that's one thing we've noticed more than anything else.
We played them to start the year, and the first thing is, as you know, Norm, he's an unbelievable guy, right? An unbelievable dude. And I remember last year, we had lost like 15 in a row, and he texted me like, "Hey, big boy, don't worry about it. They didn't hire you for your first year." And I go, "Well, I'm creeping up on you because he lost 18 in a row his first year at Oral Roberts, right?" I remember when he got the job at Kansas, he's like, "Hey, and you guys know I lost 18 in a row my first year?" And like, they had no idea. So then I got to 18 and I was like, "Tied you." And it kind of was like funny for 30 seconds. And then I passed him and then it stopped being funny. But he was so gracious to start the year. He had clearly watched our tape. He said, lean into what you're doing. You're playing a little bit different. I actually really, really like it. But as a fellow Oklahoma State alum, as a guy who idolizes Bill Self, the game is better when he's in it.
Yes.
And he has had a ton of health issues that people don't know about. But he loves ball. He loves KU. And I think he wants to find just the right mix. And I think it's a challenge to him. Some of the guys have left the game, and I still think there's probably going to be a retirement or two here in the next month. But I think there are guys that Bill's like, I want to figure it out. I want to figure out how to win in the portal era. Kelvin Sampson's figured it out.
Yeah.
Why can't I? And I think that challenge is what motivates him. And, like I said, he doesn't want to go out the way in the first weekend. He wants to play in the Final Four in Detroit next year.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the game's better with Bill Self. Like, not just as a coach, but as a guy. Like, all of us would say, hey, if there's one guy you probably want to hang out with, it's probably Bill Self.
You want to hang out with him.
Right? He knows.
Yes.
But again, the great part of Bill, right? How many times would Bill rip the shit out of me?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When I hammered him for, not having a great recruiting class years ago.
When you called Aaron Kraft better than Aaron,
what do you call him?
I never said
Aaron
this.
Kraft better than Andrew Wiggins.
I said I
That's
would
what
rather
Wiggins
have
said.
Aaron Kraft that year than Andrew Wiggins. And Andrew Wiggins had 6 points, I believe.
That'll do it from the field of 68.
His tournament
Okay,
game.
I don't agree
Remember
with
what you
that.
were saying about this?
Anyway,
Aaron
let's
Kraft's
get
a
a-
nice
I have my favorite, a great
let's
Bill
get
Self
a
story.
point.
I got a really good
Okay,
one,
go
real
ahead,
quick.
go ahead.
Okay, so I'm calling a game. Norm, I don't think you were there. I don't know if you were there. I think you were there. It was when San Diego State beat you guys at Wild Card Weekend, beat KU at Wild Card Weekend. Anyway.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah. Okay. So you can attest to this story. So they had a bet who could lose the most weight during the week leading up to it. Okay. And in Lawrence, and I don't know if it's still there, there's that little weight room that only the staff use kind of in the hallway that leads to their locker room. And these guys are in there, and Fred Quarterbaum, he looks like a male model, right? But he can't lose weight because he has no body fat, right? So he's kind of out. So they put all their per diem into the pot, okay? And Bill does nothing all week. Nothing. All these guys are in there every day, twice a day, working out, sweating. Day of the weigh-in, he goes to the sauna, which is in the coach's locker room, and he gets the old wrestling tinfoil suit, sits in there all day, Okay, drinks some water, gets out, weighs in, wins the money, goes back upstairs.
I think he threw up a couple of times too. He thought he was slick. He's done that,
right? It ain't cheating, but it ain't exactly
competitiveness.
Right?
That competitiveness too.
Winners win.
Here's what I'll say though too. I worry about Bill. I worry about him as much as we are right now saying this is great for everybody. Kansas, the sport, Bill. He has had his health issues, Norm. And you are good friends with this guy. I worry about him. And what you don't want to do is, at 63 years old, put yourself in any risk.
I would tell you this. He's gotten so much better at eating right, exercising, doing the things that his doctors are telling him, but, paying attention to his body. And and even in coaching, stepping back a little bit.
Well, and they flipped their practices. They went early, right? Yeah. The doctor said, take some stress away. And they practiced early for the first time ever this year so he could golf in the afternoon.
Well, he did some of that, but just so he could relax, not golf all the time.
No, he said, but sometimes.
He can golf, but I would tell you this, he would spread out the day more rather than being up there to 11:30 every night.
Yeah.
He's trying to do it a different way.
It sounds.
He's paying attention.
It sounds good. First of all, if not for our old Oklahoma State team, doctor was with him when he went down on the golf course, and if not for him, I don't know if Bill's here, right? So I agree with you. I want him to be fully healthy. I will tell you that you can spread out the practices you want. There's no escaping the stress of it. There's just not.
Oh no.
It is.
Yeah.
Coach Benedict Bennett. He's been great with me. And he just told me, just so you understand, this is the loneliest job on earth, and it is the most stressful job on earth.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, whatever happens represents you. You can work as hard as you want, represents you. You're responsible for everything, and no one understands the stress, the Norm, you do from being a head coach, right, of being a head coach. And then when you're a Hall of Famer, you're head coach of Kansas, you have your own personal expectations. I, too, worry about it as well, because it's so stressful. I mean, when you win, it's a relief. When you lose, you think you're never going to win again. No, that's how. It doesn't matter. I'm the most positive human being on earth, and I'm telling you,
you are not the most positive human being on earth.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm not Tony Robbins or whatever. Anyway, but the point is, I'm a very positive person. Okay, people see the world in what you don't have or what you do have. I'm a thankful for what I do have person, but. Even this year, we win 5 in a row, and everybody's going crazy, and you're like, "Oh my God, we're not any good." The stress is intense because every person in that staff represents you. You're responsible for everything, and you really don't have as much control as people want to lead you to believe.
You know what's going to add to this stress? He's heard me say this. If they get Darryn Stokes, he is not the easiest player to coach. Now, I think Bill is the best guy for him.
He loves that. He loves a challenge like that.
With all the health issues, you want him coaching Darryn Stokes right now? I mean, that heart rate's got to be kept down.
He will, and he'll delegate. He'll do those things. But Darryn Stokes is an unbelievable talent.
He is.
And coach is very good with those guys, getting them to play.
He's almost at his best. With those guys.
He doesn't like it. He doesn't like
twins.
He always says this. I like some guys that got a little bit of shit to them.
Yep. Yeah.
I like some. I don't like choir boys.
Hey, Darryn has a lot of shit to him.
He's dealt with it. Believe me, we've had some guys. The Morris twins. We've had some guys that have a lot of shit to them. But I think that'll be fine. I think Coach will enjoy that. That'll be a challenge.
Your reaction to this, though, are you happy? Are you all in of hey, this is what I want for him?
Yes.
Because he'll be miserable. He would be miserable sitting in Delray Beach right now.
No doubt.
If he was pushed out.
I don't know.
And and believe me, the Kansas people too, I know them well too. There was no pushing him out. There was no pushing him out. He's going to go when he wants to go. But I think it's a situation where I think what he does every year, he evaluates, sees how it is, then he goes back.
This is a little different. This is a little different.
He did his due diligence by going to the doctors, doing all that stuff. So
I did think at one point, Norm, it was going the other way. Did you think he was done?
Early on, I thought that, but the longer it went, and the more due diligence he
was in the office every day. with the board and the portal, right?
Portal, we call it portal combat. It's portal combat every day, and every team in America is doing it.
All right. So what has to happen next year for Kansas to get back to being that team that we're talking about as national championship good?
Obviously, they got to retain some guys, Floyd Badunga, hopefully, if he doesn't go to the league, Bryson Tiller, because that's so important to bring back guys. I think they have a terrific recruiting class. I do. I think it's Kalen Kenny.
Talon Kenny.
Yeah, I really like
point
him.
Guard, big point guard.
Yeah, I watched him. I think he's going to be terrific. Yeah. I think they've got some shooters. They got some athletes. I think Coach wants to get back to being the most athletic team on the floor, which at times they were this year. And then just get back to getting some guys that just hard, tough, go after it guys. I think that's what they do because Coach does his best with those.
You better have some shooting. You better have some shooting.
Well, he's going to get that. There's no doubt. You got to get that.
What did you and I tell?
But you know something? We say that.
No,
and look at the teams in the Final Four.
I know.
When we went over their shooting, when you go over their shooting stats, you got solo balls shooting 29%.
They have monsters up front. Kansas did not. Bryson Tiller was not.
Exactly.
At the end of the year, he was not the Bryson Tiller we saw. Midway.
No, but the other thing that yes, the Stars have made Kansas, but what's made KU great in the Big 12 is especially developing big guys.
Yes.
Especially developing big guys.
Yep.
Those guys, and a lot of them have been lightly recruited guys. Floyd Badunga has really improved. I mean, he can literally guard 1 through 5. He's not going to the NBA because he's 6'6". I don't care what he's listed at. We were like, oh my God, he's 6'6". Then he starts playing. One of our guys came over and goes, Coach, are there 6 guys on the court? Because it feels like there's 6 guys on the court, right? Because
he played great that night. I was at
man, I mean, he's so good. But I mean, that to me, you have to have the retention of the right guys. Yeah. I thought they missed on the 4 spot. What's the kid?
Tiller.
Tiller, I think Tiller's gonna be great. Bring him back as well, and then all of a sudden you're gonna have a new backcourt. I thought he got a ton out of Melvin Council.
He got a lot more than I thought a lot of people realized. He was just incredible.
Well, listen, I recruited Melvin Council when he went. I got the job late. He was still available. He went to St. Bonaventure.
Right.
But he was. I think he shot 19% from 3 with Wagner when he went to the tournament. Was in the 20s. At St. Bonaventure. I mean, that's what kept his value down was his 3-point shooting. And I mean, he had a couple games where he really shot it well. And he's just such you have to find a confident ball handler, older guy as well. But I think the key is get those 2 big guys back.
If you have them back with Stokes, holy shit. I mean, your front court, talent-wise, is insane. But again, you better have a point guard. You better.
They really need the 4. They also need a shooting 4 who can also rebound.
Isn't really a shooting 4. He is a everything 4. He is a versatile. He can shoot it. He's
will he guard anybody?
He's a killer.
You got to be able to play Stokes at the 4.
He's got.
Right. You think Stokes at the 4?
Yeah, I think so.
Stokes is a 3-4. He can play the 4 at times. He's strong enough to do it physically. He's got really long arms. I actually think you go back and watch what he did for Team USA last year at the U19s. He was a spaced it out forward, could knock down shots and do a lot of things on the floor. But at times where we talk about big, overwhelming physical, you look at Florida with Tommy Hawk and some of those guys. Like you could put Tyron Stokes at the 3. If you get really big at the 4-5s with Kansas, that's where I would lean to because you look at what's winning right now.
Yeah.
Bigger is better at this point. And I think
keep going with those 3. That's a lot of money though for those 3. And no
Kansas.
No, it is Kansas, but Kansas didn't have the money of Kentucky this year, or
no
Texas
one had the money
Tech or BYU. They did not have that NIL payroll.
Well, hold on, okay. And look, we all miss recruiting is not an exact science.
Right.
Where's Keaton Wagner from?
Kansas City.
Yeah. Okay. Smiths.
Yeah.
Okay. Smiths. You have him.
But they had Darryn Peterson.
I
hear what you're saying.
I got it, but those are the type of guys that Kansas always had only 1 or 2. They've never been a whole team. They've never been what Calipari's done. Yep. They've had program guys. Right. They've had guys. Very hard
to do that now. Very hard to keep guys for 2 or 3 years. It's hard.
Not if you compensate them right, and not if they're homegrown, right? If it's a Kansas City kid, like man, every kid in Kansas, every kid in the Midwest dreams of playing for KU.
But you also have to look at it. I'm not saying Kansas couldn't do it. Will the kid be patient? enough. That's the whole thing. Kids aren't patient enough. Now, back then, when you had the Devontae Grahams, the Frank Masons, they were patient, and there wasn't NIL.
Sure.
Those guys were patient and grew.
Well, they were also mid-major recruits.
Yeah, but I do. They are. You have to take a little bit off, right, in terms of the level of recruit. But again, I think, I know a kid that they passed on that's from Oklahoma, right? Who they could have taken, and he would have stayed there for definitely stayed there for 2, maybe 3 or 4 years. You can overpay to retain. And again, that's the real secret sauce to Kansas has been their player development.
Yep.
They develop bigs, they sprinkle in 1 or 2 one and dones along the way, and they have great culture and great character, and they've kind of been caught in this, what are we now with the transfer portal era?
Yeah.
They're just not really built for 15 new guys every year. That's not how Kansas has been built. They missed on some guys. They got to get a little bit better at it.
To your point, when Norm was there, when they were doing their best work, they were getting those guys that were ranked, quote unquote, in the 40 to 100 spot, and they were hanging on to them for 2 or 3 years. That's kind of where the difficult part is. But to your point, yeah, I mean, you got to find a way to get guys there for 2-3 years.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. I mean, listen, who are the best teams here, right? If Arizona and Michigan are the best teams here, which of those guys were the one and done, got to have them top 5, top 10 in their class guys?
Burries.
Huh?
Burries.
Yeah.
Burries and Pete were, but
Pete was.
But they were kind of overshadowed by the fact that there was like a top 4 in this class that everyone was like, holy shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So again, of those guys, we've talked about how great the freshman class is, right? And how it's going to be really, really hard. How many of those guys are playing in Indianapolis?
2.
Huh?
Point.
Well, no,
So-
3 of
Okay.
But you got to put Mullins in there with.
Yeah, that's
those
true.
guys.
Yeah, but Mullins is not in that group of the ready to go. He's not Darryn Peterson. He's not Ament. He's not Darius Acuff. He's not those guys,
I think
right?
if he plays good in 2 games, Mullins is gone.
Maybe. Who is he?
Probably got his dad's over there.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that with his parents there, but he's going to be a lottery pick. It's hard to turn down lottery pick, right?
It's hard to turn down shooting size.
No, he's shooting size confidence.
If you're 25 to 40, I get it. Then at that point, you say I can make more money going back to college right now. But if you're a surefire and it comes back and you're a lottery pick, you're going 10 to 20 even. That's hard to turn down.
Well, I mean, Caravan's a really interesting kind of case study, right? Because if he left after they won the title, where would he have gone? And now, had they not gone on this run, what would he have done? I think he's terrific. I think he definitely plays in the NBA.
Yeah, he might have gone a little higher. I'm not sure he was ever going to be a lock first rounder.
I don't think it was a lock first rounder, and I think that he made more the last 2 years at UConn than he would have made the last 2 years if he was in the NBA.
Probably true.
I agree with that. Yep.
Hey, best play of that game was the fact that he didn't just chuck it. He didn't force it.
You know what is even better? After the tip, if you watch Mullins, he runs into the backcourt so he doesn't get a backcourt violation. Waited 1 second. All right, Casey Alexander, I want to. Can we pivot back to this? Because I love this. It's the talent evaluation pin from Real Richard to Jacoby Gillespie to Malik Dia to Tyler Lundblade. Like, he's been able to find guys at the Belmont price point that have turned into pros. And some of it has been development. Some of it is just found hidden gems. I love him at Kansas State because now you're giving a dude that knows how to evaluate talent. The money they got at Kansas. I didn't know how much money there was in cows, Norm. Did you know there was this much money in cows?
There's quite a bit of money down there at K-State. They do. But I would tell you this that happens too. Just playing devil's advocate, and I know Coach Alexander's terrific. But you could get guys like he's gotten playing the league that they were playing in.
Yeah.
Those guys could be pretty good in that league. That doesn't mean you can bring that same guy as a freshman and put him in the Big 12.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's going to be fun.
Here's what I will meet you guys halfway. Because I think if you bring, now he's not going to bring Lundblade, he's going to, just announced he's going to Tennessee.
Yep.
But if you bring some of your culture over and then you sprinkle in some talented guys,
Yes.
I think it'll take him a couple years to level up in terms of his valuation because he knows what works in the Valley. Okay, you got to a little bit see what works in the Big 12. It's just different. They're so much bigger, so much stronger, and you're going to make some mistakes. To answer your point about how they have so much money, they only spend on football and basketball, right? And the schools in the Big 12 that are struggling, they're trying to win at baseball. They're trying to win at women's basketball. Like K-State's like, We want to win at football. We want at basketball. That's where all our money is going. And I mentioned Casey Alexander. I think he's an outstanding ball coach. And I think evaluation, one, it's a skill. Two, it's really kind of about work ethic, because you get sent. I mean, if you look at my phone, I mean, there's 50 agents sending you highlight clips. And if you watch a highlight clip, they all look amazing. You're like, man, who's this dude? He costs how much? Sign him up. We're going to win the league. And they're like, all right, send me the full game tape. Send me like 3 full game tapes. Just send me 3, random ones. And then you get on Synergy, you start watching full game, you're like, he stinks. You got to be super thorough, and then you got to be a little lucky. But I agree with you. The eval element of it is an under-discussed but gigantic element of the portal. And then you got to know what kind of kid you're getting. Because, and this happened at K-State this year, I'm sure it's happened at Kansas. Everybody's great. You give them $1 million, and some dudes are going to wild out.
The toughest thing for a coach in college basketball, especially at the high major level, is how do you get a guy to try harder, to get better, when they already got the bag?
Yes.
That's the hardest thing to do, to get a guy to do that.
Right. You remember the Yukon, the Hungry Huskies team, right?
Yeah.
Right? How many really hungry teams are there at the moment? Ain't nobody starving anymore. Right? They're drying their eyes with $100 bills. So I totally agree. I mean, that was kind of my working theory with this year. I brought in 10 new guys. None of them had played Division I basketball. Of course, then we throw them out to Kansas. We're like, uh-oh. But the idea is, hey, they have guys that have been told repeatedly, no, you're not good enough. I've been told repeatedly, no, you're not good enough. Can you do that at the highest level? I don't know the answer to it. Can you get hungry dudes? I think Houston's done a good job. Mm-hmm. Now, maybe that's why they weren't as good defensively this year as they've been, is because previously they had some hungry dogs, dude, that nobody wanted anymore.
I hate to say this, that's going to change for Kelvin Sampson, because Tugler, those guys, the Uzan, they're all gone. Sharp. So now they've got to really enter the portal area. Now that's going to be, the other kid, Hartwell's leaving. So
I think a lot of Kansas State boosters were tired of overpaying for guys who didn't necessarily love being there and wanted to do the little things. Hey, we talk about other hires.
You're saying $2 million for Uganda and Yensa was too much?
A little bit. You talk about hires. Brian Hodson at Providence. I'm a big fan of that hire. I thought the personality, he's won pretty much everywhere. He won the league this year in the American in South Florida. Prior to that, was towards the top of the league with Arkansas State. Boom, boom, boom. He's at Providence, loves punching up a little bit. This is a guy who's tough. He fits their fan base.
He went to a fan base that loves to talk shit, and that dude loves to talk shit.
But at the same time, he wins. And, comes from the Alabama coaching tree with Nate Oates. He's done a good job in his first few years. And I think that's a good fit or perfect fit for personalities and how that's concerned. How are they going to go forward in the Big East, which I think is gettable right now outside the top 2?
Jerry McNamara is going to be interesting to me.
I'm really interested in that one, too, yeah.
I mean, Jerry fucking McNamara at Syracuse, how cool is that?
Yes.
It's really cool. And it's unfortunate Red couldn't get it done. But, I mean, Jerry went out, proved that he could do it, and now he's got a shot at his alma mater. I mean, you can't get a better opportunity to get Cuse back on the map than one of their own who is as famous a player next to Carmelo Anthony as anybody who's ever donned the orange. I mean,
they had 5,000 people show up to the presser.
Yeah, I mean,
he did a great job too.
Yeah, someone he quoted Step Brothers in there. Like, it was everything that he was doing was perfect.
Syracuse is the one job that can make money off of their arena above that of anybody else. You put 45,000 people in the dome, you're making football money off of your home attendance. Nobody else can do that. Everybody else has to make it off their TV and off of donations and off of other sponsorship deals. The other thing that's going to be interesting is, this is the first year you can put a sponsor on your jersey, and how much you can get for that and how much goes in your NIL is going to that can sway some of these programs. So Syracuse, that's complained about not having enough money, getting everybody back in, getting GMAC back in, filling up the arena with 45,000 people, and putting some big Syracuse Mafia guy's name on the front of your jersey. I'm interested to see if they change it, they get it back.
Yeah, well, we were talking about this when he got hired, and if you have a funding issue, right? If you have a fundraising issue and you're at Syracuse and you can't have Jerry McNamara Raise no. Jerry McNamara, the guy that hit 6 threes in the first half of your national champ, the guy who's best friends with Carmelo Anthony, was teammates with Carmelo Anthony, classmates with Carmelo. If he can't raise money for Syracuse, then you might as well just put the program in a coffin, nail it in, put it 6 feet underground, and boom, it's done.
Same sentence still rings true. College basketball is better when Syracuse is good.
Yes.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%
Yes.
better when it's good.
And they have an opportunity now because, and part of it is when you didn't win over the last 3 years with Red, it's okay, we're going to take care of the next guy.
Oh, now you
And
like
it started,
Syracuse.
right.
You fucking like fucking Syracuse, right? You know, you like Syracuse now.
Where are we on Will Wade? Where are we on a couple things on the Will Wade situation? Somebody told me that LSU still hasn't put out a damn thing, at least acknowledging Matt McMahon. Like, if that's true, which I don't know, I haven't looked.
Would you
at
be
everything.
shocked?
It's disgusting, disgusting. Seriously, the way that whole thing went down, and I know it's whatever, it's the SEC, so none of it matters, right? Or what's the slogan?
It matters more.
It matters more.
It means more, but it matters less.
It just means more, but we don't give a shit about Matt McMahon. I just, and again, I think Will Wade is perfect for there again, and he'll certainly bring it up. He'll get funding that he obviously wasn't going to get at NC State, or else he would have stayed at NC State. Mm-hmm. But I just think how that whole thing went down.
I thought he was leaving no matter what.
Yeah.
He was going back to LSU no matter what.
Not no matter what. No, that's not true at all. If NC State gave him what he wanted, he would have stayed there. He would have stayed there.
Well,
But
isn't there and I don't know the internet stories. I'm too much into Portal Combat. Isn't there a story that he had talked to somebody about a house, going back a couple months ago?
If that's true. I don't know.
I think the whole thing's dirty pool, man. I just do.
The whole thing was gross.
It doesn't. I tell parents this all the time in recruiting. Like, I understand we're judged, slightly above politicians and slightly below used car salesmen in terms of our work.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to, my staff, we're men of our word. We're going to give you every penny we tell you. We're going to do everything we can. We're not going to promise you playing time or anything else. And then if you decide to leave, we're going to support you in wherever you want to go, and I'll try and get you to the best spot possible. But I don't think that Will Wade helps that narrative. I just don't.
I think Will Wade talked a lot of trash at the beginning of the year. The Red Reckoning's here, and then he runs into Duke and a couple other big boys in February. He's like a big shit wiped over his face, and he was like, "I'm not going to be able to get it done here. I can go hide at LSU where there's 4 other sports that's more important."
I don't know if it's that deep. I mean, I didn't like the. Everybody says this is the worst team that we're going to have here. We're going to get better. You don't say that out loud. You got 15 fucking guys that just battle their ass off to play for you for a whole year.
Question.
You lose a game,
You gotta
and
be
you're like, hey,
right.
these guys suck. Wait till the next guys come in.
You got to be
You
careful.
don't do that.
You have to be careful trying to buy yourself championships, thinking you're just going to buy yourself the championship. Throw a load of money here, get the gangster coach or whoever they think can do it.
Would they spend $12 million?
I don't think it was quite that much, but
How much is enough for this year?
the other part, and I know we only got a minute here, but is Will Wade now, is he as impactful as Will Wade was then? Because now,
Now everybody cheats, right? Now everybody cheats. That's your thing. Yes.
Even when that was the case, would he make it past the first round once? He made it to the Sweet 16 another year.
at LSU.
He did a great job at
But they
LSU.
made it to the Sweet
But again,
16 whenever.
Think about when he did a great job at McNeese. They had 5x the money of everybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
When he was at LSU, they probably had 2x the money of other teams in the SEC, outside of maybe a Kentucky at the time. Wink, wink, nod, nod, right?
LSU wasn't the only one doing it.
No, I understand. It is the SEC.
Okay.
But and I'm not going to kill the guy because I do think he's a pretty good coach.
No, I do too. All I'm saying is it's a different ball game now.
It's not what
at LSU than it was then.
Yes, which is why so many of the coaches that had better talent than everybody for a long time, now you got a one
How about
coach.
if he brings on
They got to
Slick
coach
Rick?
a little bit.
He might bring Slick Rick
That
back.
is amazing. That is amazing. If
Stands
Slick
back.
Rick and Will Wade,
No, it's already done.
oh, that's incredible. That's incredible. It's incredible.
Slick
The
Rick
stories that they can tell.
back, baby. I had heard he was going to bring him to NC State last year, and he didn't. And Johnny Jones might be going back.
Johnny Jones too?
Bring the whole, everybody. I know. It's elite, right?
Oh, my God.
Brooke Richardson?
Oh,
maybe bring
why
him
not?
too?
Why not? Why not? Murderers Row. Let's go. Let's go.
We have a lot more content to get through this week here at the Final Four here in Indianapolis. We're going to be back at Tom's Watch Bar tomorrow, noon until 3 o'clock, Friday from 2 until 5, and then on Sunday from 4 until 7. For Norm Roberts, for Terrence Oglesby, for Doug Gottlieb, for Jeff Goodman, for Michael Tulip over there, and Randolph Childress.
For the birthday boy.
For the
Everybody.
Hold on, everybody's coming in. Everybody's coming in.
Coming in. Here we go. Oh, look at this. It's his 50th birthday.
Who wants to start?
50th.
You singing happy birthday?
Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Oh, look, John Martin's here. Wow. Happy birthday, dear Ron. Happy birthday to you.